America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered. Glad to be back with you guys here today on Monday. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Glad to be back doing the show. I don't know if you guys were with us Friday. We ended a little weird there. We had our stream crash on Friday. First time that it happened. First time it happened while we were live on the show. The stream crashed, but luckily it was when we were doing the comment section. So we'll do the comments today that we were going to do on Friday. It's going to be a good day, though. It's going to be a good day. You know, you guys know how I love extra comments. You guys know how I love to interact with everybody. Somebody goes, when did you start watching Nick Fuentes? I watched some of your old stuff when you weren't red-pilled, and your show drastically changed when Fuentes came on the scene. I was red-pilled about different topics before Nick. Nick is what really red-pilled me on the JQ. But all the other stuff, women and black people, just anti-white stuff, all that stuff I was already pretty red-pilled on. I probably started watching Nick April of last year, I would say, about April. Yeah, sometime around there. The reason my show is, you know, night and day between then and now, it's less because of that, and it's actually because of other stuff, and I'll actually explain that. I've explained it before on the show, but I haven't been asked in a while, so it's good to refresh people. Basically, and I'd say this all the time, my family does not like what I do. My family disagrees with my politics. They do not like what I do. And when I was first getting into this, they were very like, you know, don't say this, don't say that, try not to go too far. And I really tried to walk a straight line. I was really trying to make a lot of different people happy. And then over time, like, different things would happen. So, for example, I remember, like, the Arena Zarutska thing. That's like, you know, there were probably different things before that, but that was a big thing. I remember during the Arena Zarutska thing, she got her throat slit on the train by the black guy. I remember calling out black crime and saying how a lot of this is a black problem. It's not just a crime problem, it's a black crime problem, and it's the black behavior and cultural problem. And I remember being called a racist for that, and all these things, you know, by the same people who were telling me, oh, don't say this, don't say that. And I'm like, okay, if you're going to call me a racist over saying something that's not even racist, I might as well just go the full length. I might as well just go all the way. And it was a similar thing, you know, with like Epstein, similar thing with other stuff where I'd like say something big, oh, that's anti-Semitic. And he'd be like, okay, if that's anti-Semitic, if you're just going to start calling me an anti-Semite already for saying nothing, I'm just going to go the full length and say what I actually feel. So it was a progression of that, and you could really see on my show. I feel like we've reached the limits of it where it's like I'm already just speaking my mind freely. I'm not like trying to push things further. But you could really see the progression of, like, you know, you see me trying to walk an extremely straight line to me, you know, just being like, okay, I'm just going to be myself. I'm not going to pretend to be, like, it's not like I was pretending to be a character, but I was definitely dulling down my sense of humor, not letting my own personality really bleed into the show, mainly out of fear of, like, you know, my family had instilled this fear in me that, you know, I was going to get everybody mass canceled. And I guess that's a lot of where it came from. Nick definitely helped change my mind a little bit on Trump as well. Like, I'd heard a lot of Nick's takes about why he was anti-Trump when I found Nick last April. And then at first I wasn't 100% buying into it. I was listening to it and I was trying to. And then as I saw with my own eyes, Trump failed the deportations, Trump bombed Iran, Trump buried the Epstein files. You know, it was a slow burn, but eventually fully turned on Trump as well. So I feel like that kind of sums up the answer to the question there. But yeah, it wasn't even like the red pill that changed my show when it came to how I talk about things. It was more just like I was nervous of being called those things by people in my life, and then they started calling me them anyway over me saying things that weren't even racist or anti-Semitic or homophobic, you know, whatever, misogynistic. Like, I remember a big thing is I made a joke. I said, imagine, and I made a TikTok. And I said, imagine being a good dad for 18 years for your daughter to just suck some guy's dick because he bought her a rum and Coke and asked her what her major is. And I remember I got calls from 100 different people calling me a misogynist, and I was just like, okay, like, it's a fucking joke. Like, it's a fucking joke. And to be honest, it's a hilarious joke. It's actually hilarious. It was a hysterical joke. Someone goes, you seem to be skinnier back then. Okay, fuck you. Fuck you. I was skinny. I will say, I have gained a little weight, but if you see me in person, you would see it's like a really healthy, like I was way too skinny. Like I was underweight before. Uh, yeah, I was just too skinny, and now I'm slightly less skinny for sure. But yeah, fuck you with that. You seem skinnier before. Okay, I'll just kill myself, I guess. I'm just gonna fucking off myself. I'll probably be your #1 Spotify listener this year. I listen all the time at work to old and new episodes because you are funny. Yeah, I mean, it is night and if you watch the old episodes, I love to hear it. I mean, it is night and day from old to new episodes where you really start seeing a turn in my show. Let's see. This would be an interesting thing, like for me to just go look at myself, because we're gonna have a fun show today. We're gonna have a fun show. We're gonna go through a couple of the news topics, and then we're gonna just watch Candace Owens' show. It's happening live right now. We'll just watch it from the start, and we're gonna debunk it live. But I'm gonna go back on my old episodes right now. I'm gonna tell you where it kind of takes a crazy turn, where you start seeing like the real turn and like how I talk about things. And there's like a couple episodes back in the day where like I remember when I was first starting to get, this is kind of funny but stupid. I've never even told this on the show because I never even thought about it. But when I was first like getting comfortable with like being more of myself, letting my humor bleed in, making jokes, I remember I had like a couple drinks before before a few episodes, because I was so nervous because like for months I'd been doing my show and my family had been like, don't say this, don't say that, don't say this, please don't say this, I don't want to get in trouble. And like I kept saying, I'm like, guys, you know, you don't have my politics, I don't have yours, that's okay, we can separate ourselves politically, you know, we're still family, blah blah blah. But yeah, I remember I was like so nervous to say things because they'd really instilled in me like, you will be canceled, we'll be canceled, our lives will be hell, blah blah blah. So when I was first getting ready to like, you know, really let my humor bleed in, I was like, you know what, let's have a couple drinks, let's relax. And I remember I wasn't like drunk or anything, but like I'm doing the show, I have a few drinks, and I'm really just letting the jokes fly, and like I don't know, I just remember that, and that was funny. But I'm trying to go look like where does it start taking a turn? I would say it starts taking a turn around like mid-June. Mid-June of 2025 is when my show goes from like, okay, this is like a normie political talking show to like, okay, this is like getting a little bit more interesting. And then if you go like a little further to even like July of 25, when was the Epstein stuff? Yeah, July of 25, the Epstein stuff was buried. Start of July. Start of July. So this episode, Who is Pulling the Strings for Epstein? That was what episode number was that? Episode number 83. We're at 308 for reference. Episode number 83. That's when I had a few drinks when I was doing it. Yeah, that was a fun one. And that's where it really starts turning. And then it just evolves. It just really evolves over time from there. It's a slow burn up. Someone goes, handsome Goy. Thank you. Thank you. Devilishly handsome son of a bitch. Someone goes, bro, I just watched Obsession. What the actual fuck did I watch? Yeah, that dude. If you've ever dated a bipolar girl, you lived that movie. As somebody who's dated a bipolar bitch, I've lived that experience. I've lived that. Like when he gets up to work and there's the duct tape on the door, it's like holy PTSD. Crazy. Yeah, I've lived that experience. But great movie, I will say. Incredible movie from a young director, Curry Barker. They've already made their next movie. I think they're in the editing phase. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm excited to see that too. I like a good horror film, you know, and that was different. And he kind of explained it in his director interviews where he goes, you know, a normal jump scare is just going to scare you. Like these, you're just going to be like, oh, I didn't like that. And like, that's how you felt. You're watching and you're like, oh, I didn't like that. That was weird. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of crazy, but did anyone else, again, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the movie. If you haven't watched the movie, this next sentence is a little bit of a spoiler. Was anybody else during the car scene where the girl gets her face smashed against a brick 1,000 times? Was anybody else like, holy fuck, this is awesome? Was anybody else like, holy fuck, keep doing it, keep beating the fuck out of this bitch's face? I don't know about anyone else, but I'm watching in the theater. All the people next to me go, they're gasping, they're shocked, a couple are scared, and they're like, oh, that's gross. And I'm just sitting there like, Give me more, give me more, give me more. Kill this bitch. Kill her, kill her, kill her, kill her, kill her, kill her. I don't know what it is. But I'm literally just watching the movie like, get her, get this bitch now, get her, kill her, hit her face against that brick 1,000 times. And then Curry Barker comes out. He's like, guys, yeah, in the director's cut, that scene is like a whole minute longer. I'm like, just take my credit card, take it, charge whatever you have to. I need to see it. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm watching it, and that's all I could think. I'm like, holy fuck, this is the greatest scene in any movie, in any history, and all this scene is a girl pushing her, she breaks a car window, just smashing it with her head, sticks a brick in front of the car wheel, takes a girl's head and just beats it on the fucking brick till she dies. And it's like, chef's kiss, cinematic excellence. Cinematic excellence. Yeah, that was my favorite scene in the movie, by far. Or, I don't know. I mean, it was a crazy scene at the end where he bursts in the door. He's like, dude, we got $1 billion. Turns around, just one-shots him to the head. Pull my eyeballs out of my socket and shove the barrel up my pussy, bitch. And you're just like, whoa, where the fuck did this come from? The whole movie, it's just like, just straight shock value. You're just like, whoa. Put the barrel up your pussy. Where did this come from? Holy fucking shit. But incredible movie. Hats off to you, Curry Barker. I've watched the movie twice now. Incredible. It's even better the second time. It really is just like, you're like, holy fuck, it's coming. She's about to get her head smashed on the brick. I don't know what it is. Why is it entertaining to see a woman die brutally? Out of context, that's a bad clip. But with context, it makes sense. Someone goes, are bipolar girls really like that? Yeah. Yes, they're fucking insane. Funny all these bitches on TikTok blame the guy. Well, there is some truth to that, and I will say, to be fair, the director did say that was his intention. I think it's both. I think they're both victims of whatever's happening there. They're both victims of it, but there becomes a point where he goes from a victim to somewhat of an enabler, I would say. Like, when the cat gets cooked, the duct tape, all those things. Like, when he's like, oh, did you cook the cat? And then he's having sex with her right after. Like, that's crazy. The trying to reverse his wish instead of canceling. Like, you know, again, you could blame him a little. Here's the thing. Here's where we can give the women a little bit of credit. They're not wrong about that take. He's not the villain the entire time, but he does become a little bit of a villain towards the end, and he's a victim too. But, you know, he's not completely innocent in the entire thing. Saw the car scene coming. Yeah, I saw the car scene coming too. I knew, like, something was coming, but you don't know that's coming. You don't know she's going to get her head smashed on a brick 40,000 times, and it's just like, wow. Interstellar, fuck that. I want to see a bitch get her head smashed by a brick 1,000 times in a row till she has no face left. So there is a theory that Kat, his spirit, took over Freaky Nikki, her body, because she could smell where the guy... Yeah, no, that's just crazy. That's crazy. The real theory that's correct from that movie is every time Nikki snaps out of it and becomes her normal self, it's because she saw herself in the mirror. Like, she sees herself in the car mirror in the beginning. She sees herself in the bathroom mirror and screams. The reason she's standing in the corner in the bedroom instead of laying in the bed is not just to watch him sleep. It's because there's a mirror facing the bed. The reason she freaked out when they were kissing and about to have sex the first time is she saw herself in that mirror. And if you watch the movie again, you could actually notice that. The mirror thing is a real theory. But the cat theory, that's fucking insane. That's crazy. Someone goes... Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, because I got a little distracted. The guy who said he's my #1 listener on Spotify, if that's true, God bless you, buddy. Thank you, I appreciate you. Because I was just going back over to the Rumble chat, and I saw that. It was Epstein stuff that put you over the edge, and you haven't been back since America First and America Only. Yeah, that is true. Like, the Epstein stuff really did. Like, if you watch, like, go watch a week before Epstein and go watch a week after, and then watch like 2 weeks before, 2 weeks. You'll see. It's night and fucking day how I talk about this country and the government following, you know, the Trump burying the Epstein stuff, because that really got me. I was upset about that. We got to have some AU edits. Dude, if we got any Clippers out there, feel free to join on. Bring back the Sproles 43 jersey, dude. Darren Sproles. I love Darren Sproles. He's the king. He is the dude. That's when I have my old setup in my old place. Let's see if I could, here, I'll pull that up for a second. I'll pull that up so people know what you're even, such a niche reference here. Today, like, this was the show back in the day. This was the show. I had my gaming chair, I had my American flag hanging, my Sproles jersey, my Green Goblin jersey. I think I had another jersey back there. I don't know which one. Was it my Nick Foles jersey? I think there was another jersey in the middle. Tiger Woods oil painting, Celtics flag. I had the whole setup, the whole shebang. But yeah, that was a simpler times. My dad as a kid. Okay, let's relax. But okay, let's get into, we're already 15 minutes in. I haven't talked about anything. Let's get into the actual show. We're kind of just going to speed run the news, and then we're just going to do a live reaction to Candace Owens show that's happening right now. Probably over now, but we'll just go back and watch it. Candace Owens is back. Candace Owens took a little break, and we know Candace Owens is going to be talking about how Tyler Robinson is innocent tonight. So we're going to be doing a live debunking of her show, of her ridiculous theories. I'm curious to see what she's going to say tonight, though, because I watched the same pretrial she watched. Me and her watched the same pretrial. And somehow we came to two completely different conclusions. And hers is the conspiratard conclusion, and mine is the fact and evidence-based conclusion. So yeah, we're going to get into that. It's just so crazy to me. It's like, how do you call yourself a member of the media and like you just completely ignore facts and evidence? How do you say you're driven by truth and God, but then you completely ignore all facts and evidence? Like, if you were driven by God, you would admit when you were wrong. You would realize you were wrong and admit it. You wouldn't double and triple and quadruple down on literally every shitty take you've ever had. But again, we're going to get into it. We're going to watch it. We're going to see what Candace is saying. I'm not going to pretend to know what she's saying today. I'm assuming she's going to defend Tyler Robinson and call it the show trial of the century, and that we cannot, when we're told to not believe our eyes, that is she's going to quote the, what is that, 1984, or the Pig Farm movie? Or not movie, book. It's one of the two, I forget. It comes from one of those. But we'll go over that today. I also want to go over some of the small news, and not even small. We've actually had some decent-sized news. We had ICE shoot a guy today. Someone tried to drive over an ICE agent. ICE handled business again. Way to go, boys. If you're the ICE agent who shot that guy today, I'll love to buy you a beer. I know you're not. Don't dox yourself. Please don't dox yourself, but just know in spirit, I'm buying you a beer, sir. You earned it. God bless you. Thank you for keeping the streets safe. Thank you for taking people off the street. And I'm not celebrating that the guy died. I'm just celebrating that the officer did what was necessary to defend himself. I'm just celebrating that one less illegal is in this country. This person should not have been here. And I'll even read out the statement from Department of Homeland Security. I'll pop it up on the screen. But this will be our first news story we talk about here. On July 13th, 2026, at approximately 7 a.m. Eastern Time, ICE was conducting targeted surveillance on the last known address of an illegal alien with a final order of removal. An illegal alien departed the residence in a vehicle. ICE law enforcement attempted to conduct a vehicle stop. The vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing the public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Way to go, boys. The driver of the vehicle was struck, and emergency services were immediately contacted. He passed away from his injuries. The Biddeford Police Department and FBI responded to the scene. DHS, OIG has been notified, and like all discharge of firearms, this will be investigated. This is a developing situation, and we will update the public when more information is available. Basically, what happened and what has been widely reported today, and there's no video of it like with Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy. There's only aftermath pictures and videos. But what has been reported is this illegal alien attempted to run over an ICE agent, and the ICE agent took his pistol out, fired, and had an effective shot. I see no problem with this. If you're an FBI agent and you're driving, or if you're on the street and then somebody tries to drive over you, you would shoot the person. Nobody would blame you. If you're a police officer and you're walking and someone tried to run over you, you'd shoot them and no one would blame you. But when an ICE officer does it, it's all hell is broken loose. We're back in 1938 Nazi Germany. It's hell on earth to these. It's the worst thing in the world. It's just so fucking ridiculous. People don't realize like what a car feels like. If you get hit by it. If you get hit by a car, it can fucking kill you, even on a light hit. A light hit could kill. A car is a multi-ton vehicle, a multi-ton object that accelerates fairly quickly. So yeah, I'm not upset that the ICE officer took an effective shot. I'm not upset that any of this happened. And again, I say this all the time. If we really want to have a true America First agenda and American nationalism, we need to be okay with this. You need to learn to get over that hump. If you're not over that mental hump of like, oh, but some people are going to die, you got to get over it or you're not going to make it. To denaturalize and deport 100 million people out of this country, hundreds, if not thousands, are going to die. Probably hundreds. But yes, a lot of people are going to die, and people just have to learn to get over that. The only people who will die are people who put themselves in the way of harm. That's also the thing. Dying is like optional in this scenario. This guy forfeited his life the second he got behind that car and decided to drive at the ICE agent. Even if his intention was not to hurt the ICE agent, intention doesn't matter. The reality is what matters. If your intention was not to hurt that ICE agent, but just to flee, but you ended up driving in the direction of him and it was unavoidable that he was going to get hit, he is well within his rights to defend himself and to take an effective shot against you. So these people need to realize that all these people, Alex Preddy, Renee Nicole Good, this fucking retard who died today, all of them put themselves in scenarios where they could get hurt. It is very easy to avoid that. It is very easy to just, not go to a protest violently. It's very easy to just mind your own fucking business when ICE is conducting searches. It is very easy to not put your car in drive and floor it at an ICE agent. It is very easy to avoid confrontations with federal agents. It is very easy to stay out of trouble. And for all the people who are like, oh, but American citizens are in danger. It's like, no, they're not. They are not in danger. Because if you comply, if you show them your license, if you show them your documentation, if you have any proof of your citizenship, which every citizen does have, by the way, they will leave you the fuck alone. They will not bother you unless you are bothering them, unless you are going into their investigation and you are sullying the operation, unless you are doing things to make it more difficult for them to do their jobs. These people have just no accountability. The left in general has no accountability. It's actually disgusting to see the way these people defend the criminals. Because here's the thing. If that ICE officer got ran over and killed today, they all would celebrate. None of them would fucking care. They all would celebrate. None of them would riot. And here's the thing. None of the people on the right would riot either. We wouldn't go out there and riot and protest. We would mourn his death. We would say it's sad that a federal agent lost his life in the line of duty to an illegal alien in this country who should never have been here in the first place. It is just disgusting the way the left acts. It's disgusting how emboldened they feel to be this trashy, this... I don't know, this immoral. Like, I don't even know the right word. It is just so disgusting. Someone goes, how do you drink Red Bull at this hour? I couldn't sleep if I did that. I don't go to bed till like 2 or 3 a.m., to be honest, most days. It's only 7:25 right now. I don't go to bed till like 2 a.m., so. And it's also sugar-free Red Bull, so, Ooh, I spilled a little bit. Sugar-free Red Bull, so it's not like, I was drinking sugar Red Bulls earlier, a few weeks ago. Now I'm on that sugar-free grind. But yeah, Red Bull is amazing. Red Bull gives you fucking wings. So the guy Dutch Noticer is the one who had the catfish account. The problem is we're not in the same country. I want to catch American pedophiles. I don't care about catching pedophiles in other countries, if I'm being honest. I just don't care about that. American pedophiles would be interesting. If anyone has an American pedophile catching account, hit me up. I will do it with you. I will offer my services for free to help you catch a pedophile. I would love to. Okay, so that's the first set of news. We have the ICE agent who killed somebody. Let's get our second thing pulled up. This is, again, we'll talk about even the small stuff, but we'll go through it. While we're on immigration, let's actually go to this. A new report came out. The Trump administration has extended legal protection for Haitians hours before it was set to expire. So basically, we pulled temporary protective status from these Haitians, and now we're giving them a pathway to citizenship. It's just so retarded. Trump went from they're eating the cats and dogs to like, let's give them all citizenship. Let's make them all citizens. Let's make these people your neighbors. It's like, no, I don't want them here. I don't want any of them here. I don't want the Haitians in my country. It's just anti-American to say that we need to have these Haitians in our country. I feel like I don't even need to report on that further. You guys know how I feel on that subject. Another big news topic. Later this month, we're getting a Nick Fuentes Hunter Biden interview. That's insane. What timeline of the universe are we living in that we get a Nick Fuentes Hunter Biden interview where allegedly it gets so confrontational at one point they almost fight? That the guy to get in between them, they almost fight. Let's see. There was other small news with Clavicular. Clavicular went on his trip to Israel. It ended poorly in the end. Clavicular went on an Israeli news show, and they tried to press him on the club accost about playing Heil Hitler in the club with Nick and Myron. And he basically just walked off. He was like, fuck you guys. Fuck you. Your country's reputation's in shambles. I'm trying to do something nice for you, and this is how you repay me. And he walks off the podcast. Fucking perfect. Perfect. Literally perfect. Okay. Let's see. I saw this. This was kind of stupid, but this is the crowd at the Democratic Socialists of America event today. Look at all these fucking, fatty, Muslim, fatty, old person, pixie cut, receding hairline, brown clown, fatty. And look at, they're all wearing masks. This is the biggest group of faggots you've ever seen. It's crazy. It's actually insane. And then I saw this. We'll report on this as well because the Iran war is going on still. And this is something I said many different times. And I have been not hesitant to report on the Iran war, but it's like there's just not much new to talk about because I have been saying the same thing for months. I've been saying every time you hear Trump say that the war is over, the war's ending, just don't believe it. It's not over. Until Israel has their strategic objectives met, this war will not end. I said at the start of the war, this time next year, the war will still be going on. All the different times you hear Trump saying that the war is over, the war is going to end, blah, 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 it is not fucking true. And Dave Smith actually gave a really great post about this. He goes, Trump has now restarted the most unpopular war in American history after walking away from every single original war aim last week. He conceded uranium enrichment, missile development, their relationship with Hezbollah, and the nuclear dust. We're now solely fighting now over the Strait of Hormuz and Lebanon, two non-issues before the war. This thing is an indefensible disaster, and all the people who cheerlead it have been revealed for the clowns and traitors they are. Yeah, an incredible post. Because I've said multiple times, and he kind of summed it up there, the goalposts will never stop moving here. The goal, it was about nukes. It was about freeing the Iranian people. They don't give a fuck about that. It was about, like, the women of Iran not being liberated, and it's like, okay, but then the next day we bombed a school full of little girls all getting educated. So it was just all nonsense the entire time. They've been lying to you nonstop because this war is about Israel. This war is for Israel. It's not over anything else. It has been for Israel to help Israel. And some big news on the Israel topic, and I'm sure you guys have heard by now, but Senator Lindsey Graham was found dead at 71 with a heart-related illness. The FBI actually showed up in masses to his doorstep to investigate his property, which is a little odd when they say it's a medical illness for that to happen. I'm not going to become one of the conspirators and say somebody else killed him. Is it possible? Sure. Is it likely? Probably not. But it is weird. And Myron even said it too, as an ex-Fed. It is weird for the feds to show up in masses at an ex-senator's house when he had an illness-related death to investigate. He also did just come back from a trip from Russia. So there's a couple weird angles there. I told a boomer that he died. I broke the news to a boomer, and the boomer goes, oh, he probably died of AIDS. He's a faggot. And I immediately died. I was like, okay, that's a good one. I appreciate the humor. I liked it. I thought it was funny. But here's the thing. A lot of people are sad, and they're like, oh, you can't not be sad. You can't say you're a Christian and then not, like, mourn this death. And it's like, we don't have to mourn this death. We don't have to pretend to be sad about Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is the one who said, I'm not with you, I'm with the people of Israel. I want to send all the young men and women in South Carolina to go fight in the Middle East. This was not a good person. This was not a good government representative or official. This is somebody who had Israel's best interests in mind at all times, did not do anything for America, was not pro-America in almost any way, was way more pro-Israel. And I gave a similar thing about Mitch McConnell during the entire health controversy last week, which seems to be going into this week as well. Maybe we'll report on it further this week. But Mitch McConnell, I said, the old ideas and the old people, they are going to die off, and they have to die off for real progress to be made in this country. And similar message when it comes to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham was a 71-year-old guy. He lived past the expected age of a man in this country. Lindsey Graham, like old people, died, and his ideas died with him. We need old people to die. We need their ideas to die as well. And it's sad. We could acknowledge that death is a sad event. But at the same time, we could also acknowledge that we cannot have people who are that fucking old in our government with their old ideas. We live in a country where Gen Z and millennials and Gen Alpha is getting absolutely butt-fucked by every other generation, by the government itself, and by foreign nations and foreign nationals. We cannot have boomers and Gen Xers running the country forever, and a lot of them are just going to have to die off for us to actually get into these roles. That is the reality of the situation. So I view this as just a natural course of life. I don't view this as like, it's not a major celebration. It's not a major, like, oh, we're going to be sad. It's just, this is what happens. This is the reality of life. People die. People get old and people die, and the world needs to move on. And sometimes it's better for the world to move forward from those dead people's ideas. You cannot cling on to the ideas of the past. It would be bad for everybody involved. But yeah. So again, not sad that Lindsey Graham's dead. I'm not necessarily like, jumping over the fucking moon about it, but I'm definitely happier than I am sad. He was a negative force within our government who was hurting our country in a lot of ways and put a lot of young men and women at risk of being killed in a war they never should have been involved in. Yeah, Lindsey Graham was objectively a terrible person and also a closeted homosexual. They cannot be just, we can't just not speak about that. He was a closeted homosexual. He was very active in the gay community. Everybody knows this. Everybody in the government knows this. Everybody related to politics or who knows anything about politics knows Lindsey Graham loved dick. Yeah, so am I sad he's dead? Not really. It is what it is. If anything, again, I'm trying not to like celebrate, but at the same time, it's like I'm happy about it. I think it's a way better thing for our country that he is dead than for him to still be representing America's senator. He was not good. He was not a good person. He was not a good senator. He was not good to his constituents. There was nothing redeemable about him. Someone goes, I'm from South Carolina and never voted for Lindsey Graham. We had a real America First candidate in Mark Lynch, but since no one cares about SC, Mark Lynch didn't get any support from the AF crowd, and we lost. Yeah, that's not really what it is. It's not that nobody cares about South Carolina. It's there's winnable and losable race. He wasn't going to win that race. Lindsey Graham had too much financial backing, too much support from the Israel lobby and the deep state itself. That's really the issue there. It's similar to like Vivek Ramaswamy. He was never going to beat Casey Puch. He was just not going to beat him. Certain times it just can't happen. Fishback has a real chance to beat Byron, though. That is a major difference. Fishback has a legitimate chance to beat Byron Donalds. But okay, is that all the news? Should we just go into the Candace? Should we go into our alternate reality? Should we go into the Candace timeline? I'm looking through my thing, seeing if I had anything else to talk about. I think that was it. The only other thing there was a video of Michael Knowles reacting to Red 5 Jedi's video, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, let's watch that, actually. Let's watch this, really. I hope I don't get... I don't think I'll get copyrighted or anything for this. I thought this was a good video. We'll watch this really quick, and then we'll go into the Candace Owens debunking. Red 5 made this, he made this edit. It's so good.
I thought I saw where this was going. Wow, extremely compelling. I'm not being ironic. It's like that's very good political propaganda because it doesn't make any claims. It just connects a bunch of things, like 9/11. It just sort of implicitly blames on the Jews, like lets the Muslims off the hook and implicitly blames on the Jews without ever really claiming that.
W
and then
Red
connects
5.
The Star of David to the Freemasons, even though the Freemasons I don't think allowed Jews in, which is why the Jews created their own Freemasons called B'nai B'rith, in my limited understanding of Freemasonry and Judaism, and then connects it to like Saturn. So there's this kind of cosmic sense of it. And then the contrast with Christianity. It's very, very good political propaganda because...
Dude, you got it. Again, I don't like Michael Knowles, but Michael Knowles just endorsed Red 5 Jedi with the greatest piece of political propaganda. Red 5. Way to go. Way to go. Way to go. For the people who are like, oh, but political propaganda is bad. Not if it's our political propaganda. Not if we're using it to push our agenda forward. I'm pro political propaganda as long as we're the ones pushing it, actually. I'm pro political propaganda in all ways, actually, guys. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, you know, that's a cool video. That's a pretty interesting video. But yeah, let's go in. Let's actually do this live debunking of Candace's show. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Candace. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a fun time, Candace. I'll be gentle. I'll be sweet with you. I'll be tender but firm. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to have to debunk her, though. I'm going to have to give her the business here. I think we're going to watch it in 1.25x because Candace, you know, she talks like a sub-Saharan. She talks a little slow for my taste. A little slow for my taste. But yeah, we're gonna go right here.
All right.
Holy fuck, I'm excited. I'm excited. Because me and Candace watched the same preliminary hearing. Our eyes, we both watched the same preliminary hearing. And she came to the exact opposite conclusion as me. And again, I followed the facts and the logic. I didn't let the ideas I already had influence it. I didn't let anything. I literally just looked. I was like, okay, we're going to be completely objective about this. We are going to watch, see where the facts and evidence take us. And all the facts and evidence point at Tyler Robinson. And I will say there's some facts and evidence that point at Lance Twiggs being involved with Tyler Robinson. In my mind, I actually think this could be real. I think Lance Twiggs was probably equally as involved and Tyler Robinson is taking the fall. I don't know that, obviously. But from everything I've seen and the way Lance played down his trans identity, and, you know, it almost seemed like he tried to make himself into, like, more of a Chad for that interview. And then you see, like, the stark contrast with the text messages where they're like, mwah, mwah, I love you, you know, like all this wishy-washy gay shit. So I would say Lance Twiggs is probably more involved, but that's as far as my conspiracy theories go with this. But yeah, let's go in. Live debunking of Candace Owens. She has 153,000 people watching her now, so, you know, that's scary. That's scared. That, I mean, we know that many people are retarded. We've known that.
Right, you guys, I am finally back. I am so happy to be back. Things tend to get a little crazy when I go away. I have to tell you, when I jumped online and I saw all of the X trends, I wasn't exactly certain whether last week represented the preliminary trial of Tyler Robinson or Candace Owens. I mean, is everybody okay? Why do I seem to have this sort of an effect on...
Okay, we're off to a great start, guys. She's making it all about herself. Was it the preliminary trying of Tyler Robinson or Candace Owens? It's like, bitch. It's women are exhausting. Women are actually exhausting.
On middle-aged men. Did you see this? This is real. Those are my former employers, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies, can I just say that if your husband is striking poses in the mirror to look like Candace Owens, you have got to get him off of the internet. Anyway, can I just begin by saying the quiet part out loud? Please forgive me, I have to say it. Regarding the preliminary hearing, if you find yourself having to invite literal social media influencers into a courthouse, Erica, as in the actual job description of these human beings is to influence the masses about products or ideas. If you feel compelled to invite Benny Johnson, Department of War consultant Graham Allen, Brandon Tatum, people who you, for whatever reason, I'm like...
Yeah, but these people were friends with Charlie. Like, there's no denying, like, that's just so stupid. It's like Benny Johnson was a friend with Charlie. Officer Tatum, as much as I fucking don't like the guy, Officer Talmud, he was friends with Charlie. Like, this isn't... Okay.
Judging did not choose to invite to Charlie's private funeral mass, but extended an invitation for them to come to the courthouse. The public may rightfully have some questions about your intent. Like right off the bat, that's an interesting move, Erica. Right? Benny Johnson came right out of the gate and said, Erica asked me to be here. Okay, really? Why? Why did Erica Kirk request your presence there?
That's not crazy.
My cousins, my close friends.
Because you could even take the angle of like, okay, even if Erica wanted them there to push social media stuff out, why is that even bad? Because given the amount of conspiracies there are surrounding this, wouldn't you want people who are somewhat credible, at least, you know, maybe they're not the most credible, but they're somewhat credible at least in the public's eye. Wouldn't you want them pushing the message of what's being reported? Like, again, it's just not crazy to think.
With some aunts and uncles that don't annoy me to be there, but influencers, I don't think so. It's giving, I'm finally going to wear black but I'm going to invite the glittery pantsuit. You know what I mean? It still feels like a show.
What?
And you guys, I have to tell you, I'm getting old. I really am. And one thing that I have learned in my ripe old age is that the truth never requires a marketing campaign. There's just never a budget line item for truth. Of course, the single craziest piece of news over the last week, and plausibly since the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that Ben Shapiro, who just makes everyone's skin crawl in a unique way, has offered up an unusual confession that as Charlie Kirk, his enemy, lay dying and bleeding in the backseat of the car en route to the hospital, an approximate 7-minute ride, someone in Charlie's car was providing Ben's security with updates.
Yeah. Here's what she's going to leave out. It was also Tim Pool's security and other people. Multiple people, security teams, bodyguards, etc., were getting in contact trying to find the status on the situation, which is not unnormal. You find out your friend gets shot, or maybe it's not your friend. You find out a colleague gets shot. You're curious. Again, especially again, I'm not a Ben Shapiro defender. People know my position on Ben Shapiro. He's a fucking scumbag. Scum of the earth. But Ben would be in a similar boat to Charlie. And if Charlie just got shot, in Ben's mind, if this is just Tyler Robinson taking the shot, we're following that theory. In Ben's mind, he probably doesn't know what the fuck's going on. So yeah, he probably would want to be updated. That would make sense that he would want an update to know if he should try and get his family into safety or if there's something bigger happening. Again, it's not like the craziest thing in the world. And I fucking despise Ben Shapiro. He's a scumbag, scum of the earth. But it's the retarded logic by women, it's so crazy. Candace has literally no fucking logic.
Over the phone while Charlie was in the car. That's massive.
But yeah, she's not going to mention Tim Pool because she's only trying to make this, Ben Shapiro was in on it. It's okay, so was Tim Pool in on it too? His security was talking to Charlie's security.
Those of us who believe that there is mounting evidence that Israel put a hit on Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro receiving updates while Charlie was dying is not going to go a long way in terms of clearing up any conspiracies. So welcome back to Candace.
I knew it was going to be about something retarded. The fact that this is the angle she's going with is just Here's the thing. You cannot blame a black woman for being a black woman. You cannot blame a black woman when she acts like a conspiratard retard, because that's what she is. You can't blame women for being women. They're just idiots. They have no common sense or pattern recognition. We cannot blame Candace Owens for just being a woman.
Obviously not enough time in the day. We have so much to unpack this week. But you know what? Let's begin with a basic definition, class. What does it mean to be overwhelmed? Actually, let's just start with the root word.
I would bet any amount of money Candace cannot spell overwhelmed.
Word, whelm. The verb to whelm. Let's just pull a definition of that. To whelm is a verb meaning to submerge, to engulf, or to completely cover something, often with a disastrous effect. It can also mean to overpower.
People are like, why do men hate women? And it's a man would never do this. A man would never be like, okay, so we're gonna pull up the Google dictionary for whelm today on our live stream. It's okay, kill yourself. What the fuck is this? What is this shit?
Someone in thought or in feeling. So right now, there is a seemingly infinite number of influencers on social media who watched the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing last week, and they reported back to us common folk that they came away from it and they were effectively drowning. They were submerged. They were engulfed. They were completely buried by the avalanche of undeniable evidence that Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk. I mean, they were so consumed that they all just began using that exact same adjective to express themselves. It is
really quickly. I'm gonna just label some of the quick evidence so people know. Bullets found in the closet with his fingerprints. Bullets found with the gun with his fingerprints. Fingerprints on the gun. Fingerprints on the bullets. Fingerprints on the casings. Fingerprints on the tool used to inscribe the bullets. Fingerprints on the scope. Fingerprints on the trigger. DNA on the stock. The text messages verified by Celebrite, the note with his DNA found on it, the testimony from his boyfriend saying he admitted to it over text and in person, his parents turning him in, him admitting to doing it to his former Cub Scout leader, who was a police officer who assisted in turning him in as well. So it's yeah, the people are crazy for listening to the evidence and jumping to the conclusion that Tyler did it. This fucking monkey face really cracked it. It is crazy. You just pause it. She looks like a monkey. That is a monkey's face. That is a monkey's face, right? That no one can say that's not what a monkey looks like. That's peak monkey.
Overwhelming. In fact, that has really been the keyword since last year, right? It is the new wear a mask, save lives, 6 feet social distancing. The evidence against Tyler Robinson is overwhelming. Check out this little collage you put together.
It is. I just, okay.
Influencers who apparently need to pop a Xanax, right? The evidence is becoming overwhelming against Tyler Robinson. Thanks, Graham. Steve Deese, the podcast, today's podcast, an overwhelming evidence against Tyler Robinson. Paramount, not so tactical. The evidence against Tyler Robinson is overwhelming. Gunther Eagleman, the evidence is overwhelming, to say the least. Kind of feels like he's saying the most. Jack is quoting Don Trump Jr. As having said the evidence against Tyler Robinson is overwhelming. That's just one page. Allie Beth Stuckey, Mike Lee, the evidence against Tyler Robinson could not be more overwhelming. He couldn't be more submerged. Andrew Colbert, it's overwhelming against Robinson. Whoever Brent is, it's overwhelming. Susie, it's overwhelming. Clay Travis, it seems overwhelming. Some people even went so far as to report that it was actually the most overwhelming thing that they have ever witnessed in their entire lives in the courtroom. Take it away, Josh Hammer, who happens to look like a Bond villain. Take a listen.
So to reiterate and to summarize what we've already said, the evidence presented this week, just during the pre-trial evidentiary hearings in the Charlie Kirk assassin trial, the trial of Tyler Robinson, is the most overwhelming presentation that I have ever seen this early on during a legal proceeding in my entire life. Life.
Whoa.
I mean,
His whole life. This is it. This is that moment. So I was
Candace is like so dumb. I don't think she knows what a pre-trial, you're not even like supposed to prove your point. In a pre-trial, all you have to do is prove a crime happened and prove that the defendant may or may not be related to it. That's all you have to prove, that there's a chance that they're related to a crime that did happen. They literally proved that Tyler, like if you had to convict after, the pre-trial alone, if that was the entire trial, the jury would convict. That is how much evidence there was.
Said, let me buckle in. I too wish to experience that tidal wave of the exact same emotion being shared by all of these people. Apparently, though, me and Carrie Prejean Bowler, who I was traveling with, we watched an entirely different hearing. I don't know if it's different in Spain. I had wondered, is it different if you don't have the eyes of Zionists? Because I did notice a little corollary, right? Amongst Zionists, there is an increased sense of the whelming happening when it comes to Tyler Robinson. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Let's begin with a refresher on what exactly the Fed narrative was going into this hearing. Like, you have to remember the stuff that they say because they very quickly move on from these things. Okay, foremost, we were told over and over again that Tyler Robinson was turned in by his own family and that he confessed to the crime at various points. We were told his mother recognized him on the news. His father turned him in and they both made official police statements against their son. In fact, Bill Ackman, King of the Hamptons, immediately pledged $1 million to Tyler Robinson's father, Matt Robinson. Someone should check in on that $1 million, by the way. He pledged that for the brave act of Matt Robinson having turned in his son. Anyways, here's a clip of people.
Well, but again, that's like so out of context. I'm not a Bill Ackman fan either. I don't like Bill Ackman at all. Bill Ackman is a Zionist Jew who's working against the interests of America. But here's what happened. He said, I'm going to give $1 million to anybody who has information on Charlie's killer and turns this person in. The father was the one to turn the son in. So in turn, he offered the $1 million to the father. Like, why is that? So it's not like he just like gave the dad $1 million because the dad turned his son in. It's like, no, he had offered this before there was any information about a Tyler Robinson.
Telling us that that's what happened and we were going to find that out.
I was having a discussion about how I, just as a
But
father.
this is why I'm doing this episode, because Candace is just going to talk, but what she's going to do is she's going to leave key things out on purpose because they don't fit her conspiracy narrative. I'm here to just give that context and let you guys be able to... I'm not even here to convince you guys that Tyler Robinson did it. I don't care about that. I literally don't care about doing that. What I care about doing is just following the truth and giving the full context and letting you guys come to your own conclusions while you have the full context. Candace wants you to just come to conclusions without knowing the full context of the story. And by the way, this girl looks so fucking retarded. What is wrong with your face? Holy uneven. Holy, maybe she has something wrong with her and I'm just an asshole, but holy fuck, that's an ugly face. That's crazy.
How incredible it was to see, and just almost unbelievable it was to see Tyler Robinson's parents play a role in turning over their son.
Tyler Robinson and the video and footage of him were identified also by his parents as being Tyler Robinson.
Tyler Robinson's parents see that photo and think, that looks like Tyler. They begin asking him things like, where is your, I believe it was his grandfather's gun.
Mm-hmm.
They start asking him this. Tyler Robinson starts talking like he might kill himself. They get a friend of the family to sit down with him. He admits that it's him. They get him to drive up to Orem and turn himself in. His parents helped him turn him in.
They say no face, no case. No, his parents said, that's my son. And then he turned himself in. Taking responsibility for shooting Charlie Kirk.
So we have 3 confessions here, one to his parents, one to his roommate, and one on Discord. Those local sheriffs were the ones who took the first statements from Robinson's parents, which identified Robinson as the shooter and provided the motive.
By the way, Allie, do you think that the parents of Tyler Robinson, if he was not guilty, would be making a stink about this if he was innocent?
What is this
Have you
whole
heard a
shitty
word from the
montage she's
parents?
showing?
No, the parents were the ones that turned him in.
Turned him in, made statements against their son. Okay. The Fed narrative also stipulated that this was the left, right? We were supposed to instantly go to war over this. The right versus the left. It was a politically motivated killing. Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk. First crime he's ever committed. Decided to do that in broad daylight, in a burning rage over LGBTQ rights, particularly trans rights. Because he has
Again, you say broad daylight. Like, when is he going to shoot Charlie at night? Where is he going to find Charlie at night? He's going to snipe him through his bedroom? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no shit. He's going to do it during the day. That's the only time he has access to the guy. Holy
trans for a
fuck.
boyfriend named Lance Twiggs.
Common
Some hate
sense
just
is
can't
weak
be
with this one.
negotiated. He wrote via text, like, this is why I did it. Charlie Kirk, I took my shot because I can't stand to hear the hatred that Charlie Kirk spews regarding trans people. We were constantly reminded that there was going to be footage also of Tyler Robinson taking that shot, that it had simply not been presented to the public yet because it wouldn't have been appropriate at that early phase. We just had to wait, be patient. Erica herself told us back in November or December that she had seen the evidence and she was convinced it was Tyler Robinson by the time she sat down for that interview with Barry Weiss. Her mind was made up. That's the guy. No foreign involvement, no involvement of others. She doesn't need to see anything. Now, we were also told that Tyler's fingerprints and his
And
DNA.
also, I want to remind everyone of this. For Candace's theories to be right, multiple foreign nations, the White House, the prosecutor, the defense, the judge, the entire Kirk family, including Charlie's parents, Tyler Robinson's family, Tyler Robinson, George Zinn, the ATF, the FBI, I don't know if I said them, the local police, pretty much thousands of people would have to be all in on a conspiracy, all keeping the same secret for Candace's theory to be right. Do you think thousands of people can hold one secret? No, I don't think so.
Were found on the gun, and that was presented rather exclusively. They never wanted to mention any other prints, just case closed. This is our guy. We're overwhelmed. Okay, now what was our narrative here on the show? Because after months and countless hours of working on this case, chasing down every plausible lead, I maintained that Tyler Robinson...
Plausible lead? She was talking about astral projection and viewing dreams and time travel and shit. What are you talking about, bitch?
His parents did not turn him in, okay?
They did.
That was a mainstreamed lie. I said, rather, he was peer pressured to come in by Mike Mitchell, the former
Under
undercover
oath, it
detective
was
with the police
testified
force,
to in
and
court.
also a family friend of the Robinsons because he was Tyler Robinson's Boy Scout leader growing up. I maintained that Mike Mitchell actually was the one who was told that they were going to bring in Tyler Robinson, and he then went to Tyler Robinson's parents and said, look, you can do this the easy way or you can do this the hard way. No matter what, they're going to bring you in. So you're going to have a circumstance where they're going to bust in the door. Your parents could get hurt. You could get hurt in that process, or you can willfully come in. And he agreed to willfully go in, not confessing to a crime, but not wanting them to burst into his home and potentially harm him or his parents because he wasn't suicidal. I also expressed to you that Tyler Robinson was not political, crucial, and that he came from a family of Trumpers. I want to be clear, but I have never denied that the gun found was indeed Tyler Robinson's gun, but rather I have asserted that the gun was not fired on that day and was not used to kill Charlie Kirk. Particularly, we stressed on this show that he had simply inherited the gun as a family heirloom because he is the firstborn son, but that Tyler himself was actually more of a fisherman. His brothers were the hunters. I also have suggested heavily from the beginning that Lance Twiggs is a federal asset who gathered Tyler's belongings to pin the crime on him. A very easy feat because he was his roommate and his boyfriend. And I suspect that Lance himself is heavily blackmailed because he was into some dark web stuff. I also noted the rather strange predicament that every single piece of evidence that the influencers are pushing relies on Lance Twiggs, who himself probably should...
How does she walk her way out of the fact that during the case, during the preliminary trial, the bullets that were shot were recovered inside Charlie? The bullet fragments were... which would completely dismantle her exploding microphone theory and all these other things she's even mentioning now.
Be considered a person that might be guilty of participating in the events on that day, who for some reason was immediately granted immunity by the feds and was not allowed to even be cross-examined at this stage for this hearing, despite arguments made that
limited immunity to that one conversation. Not just immunity, not full immunity, limited immunity to the conversation. Basically saying anything you say right now, we won't charge you for. So we want you to admit as much as possible, to tell us as much as possible what happened. That is extremely common. Extremely fucking common.
At this phase of, this is preliminary, we're just going to see if we go on. Now, regarding what took place on that day, we suggested that the feds intentionally flooded the zone with multiple decoys. Different young men, all brunette, all wearing similar outfits. We termed these our...
these decoys, they're all in on it, guys. To add to our few thousand people who are keeping the secret, they also had countless decoys with brown hair, maroon shirts, and sunglasses, and khaki shorts that day. All those people, they're all in on it too, guys. Don't worry. The secret's safe with them, though.
Maroon boys, right? Decoys. Photos of 3 of them in a row right here. I said, why were so many men dressed like Tyler Robinson on this day?
I have so many shirts like that. It's crazy.
Wandering, all of who fit the description of what we're about to see. And our biggest claim that we probably made on the show was that Tyler Robinson did not step foot onto campus on that day. At least that is what he told his family. That he was around campus, but not physically on campus himself. So in short, it should have been remarkably easy for people to debunk us. Right? On this, very easy. While I was sitting there actually expecting, open and willing to have to concede at least 1 point for my investigation. I mean, I worked really hard to be perfectly accurate, but I was like, maybe he lied to his parents and he was actually driving on campus that day. All they needed to present to make me look foolish was one clear photo of Tyler Robinson on campus. What we got instead was footage of unidentifiable brunette males walking up and down the Losey Center steps at various points throughout the day. What was presented in court was a compilation video, which I would like to note was Exhibit 12.4 in court. Exhibit 12.4, that's going to become relevant later when we talk about the influencers who have sold their souls to the devil.
I know what she's going to say.
12.4 was a compilation of blurry male, or males, plural, going up and down stairs, and people said, that's Tyler Robinson. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at this video.
This is like how retarded women are, truly. Like they will do mental gymnastics to make themselves be right. This woman is so fucking wrong. She's doing mental gymnastics to try and make herself right. It's crazy. This is actually insane.
The males in 12.4 moving throughout the day, going up and down the steps. Here we go. And we're speeding this up, I think, right? Or we cut it short. This is the undeniable evidence that it's Tyler Robinson. And by the way, if you're feeling overwhelmed, please sit down and have a glass of water. We don't want anybody passing away looking at this. Undeniable. They're like, this is Tyler Robinson. This is just like attempt at hypnosis. You're getting very sleepy. That's Tyler Robinson. That's Tyler Robinson.
This is literally just the preliminary hearing. And yes, those are like identifying videos. You can, again, you can't look at the video and say that's 100% Tyler, but with the context of all the other evidence and those videos, which is how the prosecution laid it out, you can see all that and you can come to that assumption. And it's a fair assumption. It's actually the correct and fair assumption after you've seen all the evidence. So Candace, again, like doing mental gymnastics to try and prove herself right. It's just so fucking insane. And someone goes crazy that in a group of over 1,000 people, 2 people will have similar shirts. Yeah, exactly. It's just so fucking insane. Especially, like, you just don't eat, like, there could be, like, a fraternity where that's, like, is there a Kappa Alpha on campus? Because that's Kappa Alpha's colors. That shirt, that maroon, that's Kappa Alpha's colors, maroon and gold. So it's just, like, I don't know, there's so many different things you could use to explain why people would have those shirts. Maybe there's, like, a local restaurant that sells, like, you don't know. Or maybe people just wore them. Like, I have so many shirts that are that color. I have so many shirts that are that color. It's just such a retarded theory. It's like... There's multiple people in maroon shirts. It has to be one big conspiracy, and Benjamin Netanyahu's behind it. It's like, bitch, you make the rest of us look bad. You make the real Israel critical people who actually call out the real organized Jewry within the country look bad by you being a complete and utter fucking retard. Again, women should not be able to be in politics. Women should not be able to be in political media. Like, seriously, we got to start with repealing the 19th, and then after that, maybe start, altering the First Amendment. Women can talk. Women have freedom of speech only in these, I don't know. It's just so crazy. It's gone too far. Like, this is just delusion. She needs to be 5150 along with Laura Loomer.
It's him. That's him. And by the way, I want to be clear. I can't meaningfully deny that that could be Tyler Robinson. It could also be Lance Twiggs. It could be Ethan Hawke, Tom Holland,
God bless you.
Chalamet in preparation for the final installment of Dune. Could be any. I couldn't reasonably deny that it's any of those young men or any one or number of the decoy boys on campus that day who I speculated all looked to me like they belonged in a military unit. Speaking of which, I think I forgot to mention to you guys that on the top floor of the Losey Center, of all things, it's UVU's military affiliated student hub, known as their MASH Center. It's literally...
Guys, the entire military, that whole military class, actually, whatever they're teaching up there in that military building, they have this fucking military compound in the middle of their campus. Yeah, you guys, it's highly classified. You guys can't figure that out. You guys can't know about it. Like, what the fuck? What are you even getting at here, Candace? Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's just like, holy fucking retard. Holy mental gymnastics.
A dedicated student center.
Candace makes me hate women 10 times more than I do.
For student veterans and their families. So that's it. That's what we saw. We saw brunette.
I'm going to keep it going. I'll be back in 2 secs.
Could be a dirty blonde. I'm not ruling any A-listers out of being involved on this day. Actually, I'm just not convinced. Now, Lance, the star possible Fed witness, basically says it looks like Tyler in terms of his clothes. Like, I recognize some of these clothes. He liked to wear jeans. I kid you not. That was his testimony. Take a listen.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty just because of camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat, but he was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans. So it definitely, especially the bottom, the last two, definitely do look like him. Oh, they do look like Tyler Robinson.
Well, I say it's open and shut. He made it very clear that Tyler wears jeans, that he wears those shoes worn by, we should probably look up how many millions of people wear those. I mean, I think I had 20 pairs of those shoes throughout my lifetime, but he doesn't recognize the hat, not one of his hats, but he does like to wear jeans. And what are those Chucks he's wearing? Like, there we go. That rules it out. Really convincing. So I'm thinking, let's move beyond that, okay? Blurry video compilation 12.4. Surely they're going to be able to show us Tyler's car on campus, because what would be the point of a parking lot surveillance system that doesn't capture the license plates on cars? That would just be foolish and a waste of our time. Why would you even have an entire surveillance system installed on campus that can't identify any faces or any...
See, I agree with the statement she was making. The point of parking lot surveillance should be for that, although it's not really, but it should be. But at the same time, it is not uncommon for these universities or places to not have updated camera systems and still to have somewhat grainy. Like, they're not all going to have like 4K cameras in all their parking garages. It's just not going to happen. When I was in college, they didn't have that. It's crazy to expect them to, every college, to have that now. It is ridiculous. So I actually kind of agree with what she's saying, that like that probably should be the purpose. But in the end, that's just not the case. That's not the reality. And for Candace to act like that is the nail in the coffin on the conspiracy, like, you're a fucking idiot. You just use common sense. Like, go to 10 colleges, ask them to see their parking lot security footage. I bet you each one is grainier than the next. You know, it's just a lack of common sense by her.
Cars at all. So the question is, did we get a clear photo? I was like, maybe he was actually driving around camp. No, we got more blurry images of what appears to be, judging by the car's exhaust pipes, a totally different Dodge Challenger from the one that Tyler Robinson was driving, okay? Here is what was shown. This is a car this is his Dodge.
Tyler Robinson drove a Hellcat? That's crazy. Even I missed that from the trial.
Dodge Challenger, and I want you to pay attention to those exhaust pipes at the bottom. We're going to zoom in there, okay? You are noticing that is a dual exhaust pipe. You see two, right? These are your eyes. I know the final instruction is don't believe your own eyes, but I'm asking you to believe your own.
How do I know? I said at the beginning of the show she was going to quote that.
Eyes here. Well, Robinson's car, here's a still of the car, which is clearer, which was towed out of his driveway, features not a dual exhaust system, but it's singular. Okay, that's a major discrepancy that people.
That actually looks like a dual to me. I don't know about you, but that looks like a dual.
Car people,
it's like a shitty angle
about why this. You basically, when you order the car, you can order different things. we don't need to get into the nitty gritty.
That's a shitty angle. That looks like, if anything, that does look like a duel. That's just a side angle of it. That's okay. Like, this is what I'm talking about when it's like, just why are we letting women do anything in this world?
Eyes on the car front. Now, if you're thinking, Candace, are you suggesting that someone else could have, I don't know, rented a Dodge Challenger and been driving around a gray Dodge Challenger just so they could get images and say that it was Tyler Robinson's car? Well, actually, you don't need me to suggest it. Actually, a witness.
And there were videos of his license plate as well.
Confirmed that they saw someone else driving a gray Challenger, particularly a bald guy driving the Challenger late at 12:47 a.m. You know, there was that Nest video that captured him returning to campus or at 12:47 a.m. around campus. The woman who captured that footage testified to police that she saw a bald man accompanied by 3 other people in the car. Take a listen.
Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Ring camera that you obtained. And you interviewed a woman named Ms. Noble, is that right? To get that Ring camera that we watched with the car on the outside?
We interviewed her to verify the authenticity of the video, yes.
And were you involved in that interview?
With Ms. Noble,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And do you recall what they told you about what they remember seeing in and around that car that night?
I don't recall. I just know we were there to verify the video. I didn't conduct an
Crazy People podcast just goes, I thought it looked like a duel on the trailer as well, but the rims looked a little bit different to me. I'll have to relook at that. I'll look at that later. I'll have to relook at it. But I don't, there's not a single thing she said this entire video that I'm like, yeah, this is credible. It's all just like delusional nonsense.
An interview with
Good to hear from you, buddy.
And do you
Love the
remember that
Crazy
the
People
Nobles told
podcast.
you that
Follow
the
them,
driver
subscribe to
of
them.
the vehicle was bald?
I do remember that being in the report, yes.
And you didn't mention that today when you were talking about that Ring camera, did you?
I did not.
And did they also tell you there were 3 other people in the car?
Yes, I believe they thought that.
She's laughing, but like she's laughing because she like laughs right after they go, oh, and you didn't mention the bald person. It's like, you realize he's not like just going up there and monologuing, right? He's being asked questions and he's answering the questions. They didn't ask him previously about the bald guy, so he didn't mention it. That's just common sense.
That was the case.
Forgot to mention when we showed you this evidence of Tyler Robinson's car that the person who captured it said that they saw a bald man and 3 other people. By the way, paging Blake Neff, he did this weird X Live that we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, but they again, like, I don't know. That's just such like a... I'm not saying that the claim is untrue that they saw a bald guy and 3 other people. It could very well be true. But to my knowledge, what they saw on the Ring camera. It's like, you can't always make shit out on that, especially at night. Like, that is just, again, if you have a Ring camera, you know, that's just common sense.
He doesn't.
Big Red, really he goes, what's up? How we doing?
Apparently, a few of the people at Turning Point USA, despite Charlie dying, went out later that night and don't necessarily recall what they were doing. I think we got to try to help them figure it out, okay? Anyway, we told you early on that it is highly unlikely, despite what looks to us to be like Fed drafted text messages, that Tyler returned to campus to, as his text messages say, watch the K-9 officers to babysit his rifle, because we broke the story that Tyler was eating a steak down in Panguitch. He concluded and paid at 9:47 p.m. There's a literal receipt for that because, as we said, he paid with his debit card. So we can timestamp him 3 hours away at 9:47 p.m. when he's apparently texting Lance. It's his 3 hour ride. So when Lance says that he gets his phone and he's getting an automated message and they start talking, and Tyler, he says the first message came in at 11 p.m. Well, 11 p.m., I can tell you right now that drop everything and look under your keyboard at 11 p.m. He says that's an automated message. And then him and Tyler begin.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and here's what she's missing. She's going to say like, oh, because of all this, it's impossible that the narrative is true. It has to all be completely fabricated. Tyler Robinson never took the shot. Or the more realistic answer, the more common sense person would say, okay, if what Candace is saying is true there, and there was some weird things with the timestamps, there was some weird things, the realistic answer is that Lance Twiggs probably had more to do with it than we know about, and that Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs worked together to concoct this plan to exonerate Lance Twiggs while Tyler takes the fall. That's not like the craziest thing to think about in a situation where there are 2 people, like no matter what you think of their love, and myself included, it's like if 2 people are in love with each other, some people will do crazy things. Like people who do crazy things are willing to do a lot of crazy things. If you're crazy enough that you're willing to just shoot somebody, if you're crazy enough that you're willing to assassinate a high profile figure, you're probably crazy enough that you're willing to take the dive for that for somebody else as well. You're probably crazy enough that you're willing to take the entire fall for it for the person you love, I'd imagine. And I'd imagine that's the more realistic scenario. If she's like, oh, but this person was like here a couple hours away later in the day, they weren't over here like they were saying in the text messages. Okay, the realistic answer to that then is Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson were probably sitting together, texting each other, saying, oh, what should we say next to make this seem realistic to get you off of this? That's probably the realistic answer. I'm just speculating there, but it's like, if you're going to go down any conspiracy, the only realistic, viable conspiracy to me or to any of the common sense people in the world is that Lance Twiggs was probably more involved, but they were both involved, and Tyler Robinson is the one who took the shot. That is the most realistic conspiracy there is, and it's not even like a crazy conspiracy. It's just common sense at a point. But yeah, Candace is like a literal fucking retard the way she goes about doing or talking about these things and explaining it. And again, it's so funny. Every single time I pause on her face, it's a monkey face. Like, that's the face a monkey makes right there. That looks like a monkey. Every time I pause on her face, it's a monkey face. It's incredible.
And texting, and he's like, oh, I'm babysitting things out here in Orem. I'm waiting to go back and get my, like, how is that possible? If at nearly 10 p.m. he's leaving Hangwich. He couldn't have been babysitting the campus. This is the problem. The messages are problematic, and that's why they're not timestamped. He could not have been doing what he said he was doing, texting Lance after 11 p.m. Or he decided not to mention that he got pulled over by a police officer around 12:30, and he just was texting him in earnest. None of the text messages make sense, and we're going to need timestamps. By the way, just a little fun ad that the messages were apparently extracted by a company based in Tel Aviv. Israel is taking care of...
Brother, that's, again, conspiratorial bullshit. It's so fucking insane. Oh, Tel Aviv got the text. It's like, bitch. Do you know how many tech companies... Again, I am one of the biggest people who say Israel is a bad country. We should have nothing to do with Israel, and Israel's influence over America is awful. But to be like, oh, just because Celebrate is located in Israel, this has to mean this is an Israeli conspiracy. It's like, bitch, you are so stupid. You are so fucking stupid. That would mean that any court case involving Celebrate is a Israel. It's just like so retarded. It is really the lowest IQ nonsense ever.
The Lance messages, guys, trust the science.
And here's the, I'm pausing it way too much. I'm going to stop doing that. But I want to explain this. One of the biggest defenders of my theories, and one of the biggest proponents of like making Candace Owens look stupid right now is the defense, is Tyler Robinson's lawyers. Because if all the things Candace was saying were true, or there was some light of truth to it at all, they would be bringing it up. It would be part of their defense strategy. But instead of contesting the validity of any of the evidence, they didn't contest the validity of the DNA evidence. They didn't contest the validity of the videos. They didn't contest the validity of the rifle being found, the bullets. They didn't contest the validity of the text messages. They didn't contest the validity of the Discord messages. They didn't say any of that was not real or manufactured or anything. All they said was that the people shouldn't see it because it will stop Tyler from being able to get a fair trial, because the jury might be able to see it. The people who would be jurors might see it in the news. They didn't contest the validity of any of the evidence at all throughout the entire 5-day preliminary hearing. I watched the entire thing. And yeah, I feel like that is one of the biggest fuck yous to Candace, because Candace is literally like, someone just wrote, I'm getting triggered, and it's like, I feel the exact same. I'm literally watching this, and every second I hate women more than the last. I cannot stand them, because this is like female delusion. This is it, right? If you guys want to know what female delusion is, this is it. This is it right here.
Pull these up, by the way. Let's pull these messages up, okay? 11 p.m. Allegedly automated. Nobody knows why he sent an automated message. Drop what you're doing and look under my keyboard, he says. Lance, what? You're joking, right? F, I tried to delete that, Tyler comes back with.
But again, all this proves is that Tyler may have been involved. It doesn't prove anything else. It doesn't prove that Tyler wasn't. It just proves that Lance might have been.
I can come home, but I gotta
That's all it proves.
To be honest, I had hoped to keep the secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. Oh gosh, I know. He shouldn't have said old age because the Fed narrative is that he was suicidal. It's a bad thing to say that. You weren't the one who did this, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. They interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Like, I'd like some timestamps.
Someone goes, she has to double and triple down. There's nowhere else to go. Dude, she's got to suck Harvey Weinstein's dick. It's literally the only way out of this. You got to find like the top Jew and suck his dick. Like Bill Ackman.
It's not coming across in these messages.
I don't know. Maybe she's got to blow Ben Shapiro. Like, I don't know. She's got to find the biggest Jew and just suck his dick.
If I'm able to grab my
it's
rifle
the only way back.
Scene,
I'm serious.
This feels to me
literally
like a
no other
person
way
who's
back
not
for her.
native to speaking English, American English, is.
She's got to suck Rabbi Shmuley's dick.
If I'm able to grab
That's
my rifle
Rabbi
unseen,
Shmuley.
is not what we say. That's just not how we speak. You can say it, but it's not how we would say
But again,
it.
her saying that's not how we speak. Again, you're only proving my point further that like Lance Twiggs probably had some further involvement, but it doesn't mean that Tyler Robinson wasn't involved. It doesn't mean that Lance Twiggs is like some federal operative who's been planted in Tyler's life for almost a year now prior to this assassination just to set him up for this. Like that, the idea of it's so crazy.
I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about
How
them
is this
finding it.
1.25 speed?
I will
This
update
is
you by
so
midnight. Here is what I would like
painfully
to
slow.
do. It is very important for us to establish because he is speaking about the canines. And I think I can, by the way, I can back channel because I talked about the canines on the show and I can go back to that source. But if you have information related to when the canines were brought on to the scene, please email us, tips@CandaceOwens.com. That will allow us to get a timestamp in there because he says he's observing the canines going back and forth. And this could be exculpatory evidence. The Panguitch steak, and I think my gut has been right from the beginning, our gut, everyone's gut, that these messages feel a little fed sloppy Joe. More tips at CandaceOwens.com or tips@CandaceOwens.com.
Sloppy Joe. Like, what is this?
The officers
Women aren't funny.
had the canines there on the scene. Anyway, noticeably missing was any of that shock testimony regarding Tyler's parents' statements turning their son in. Again, we got to get an update from Bill Ackman on the mill. That's a cool mill.
We literally got a statement about that at the trial.
Testimony regarding how Lance Twiggs' prints were on everything: the towel, the gun, the Dremel that was used to carve out the messages on the cartridges. Lance claims, you want to know his alibi is for that day when Charlie was shot or had an exploding mic? Lance claims that he slept in until 1 p.m. How convenient. Charlie gets hit at 12:23 and Lance actually slept
1 p.m.
37 minutes beyond that on September 10th.
He's just like me. He's just like me. 1 p.m. That's just like me. That's just, I stay up till 3, 4 in the morning. I wake up at noon, go get some pizza. That's my life. It's my life, guys. He's
So
just
cool.
like me.
And then he woke up.
Minus the gay
Here
furry
are some more
sex.
devastating points of this hearing. Okay? Lance confirmed my report that Tyler was not political. If Lance is to be believed, then their entire leftist rage motive about LGBTQ rights virtually just disappeared. Okay, take a listen.
Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me. I don't really keep up with politics.
I was saying this earlier. He's just LARPing
usually
as
talk
a
about
Chad. It's
stuff
not
he heard on
like
the radio on his drive to work in like their work cars. It sounds like
it only leads me to my
lives in the same car
conclusions more.
most of the time. But I wouldn't say super.
He was
consistently,
LARPing as a Chad because they crafted this plan together to exonerate Lance. Like it's so fucking obvious, and Candace is like doing mental gymnastics to find a way to make them both innocent. It's like no, they're both just guilty.
Topic I really contributed much on.
Look at how crazy your eyes are. Holy fuck. Like, look at that face. Just look at that.
Charlie Kirk before specifically.
Imagine you're married to this bitch-ass face right again. Another pause. See, every time I pause it, it's a monkey face. Every time I pause it, bro, that is straight monkey. That is straight chimpanzee right there.
How about political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
Enya's watching. Enya just goes, Candace isn't a representation of all women, James. Enya, I love you. You're like the only woman I love. Enya, I love you. You're a rare exception of women. You're actually a smart one. They're all retarded, though.
No, not really. Usually if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump or current like policies.
Monkey face, monkey. Dude, every time.
Being, like issued or voted on, I think. But yeah.
Oh, I think we reported that this was a family filled with Trump supporters, and you're telling me just he would maybe hear something on the radio and talk about a policy issue. Didn't seem stressed that he hated Trump there. You never heard him speak about LGBTQ issues. Are you telling me that people were trying to essentially launch a civil war between the left and the right, and the very people who claim to be fighting that sort of stuff were actually trying to instigate it? Trying to instigate that left versus right, gay versus straight. This was being initiated by the right because they just couldn't wait to hear anything beyond what the Fed was serving. But there was even more explosive testimony, believe it or not, and it got really scientific. And it came from the ATF on the final day. This is actually my view of the reason that the influencers went positively insane and suddenly pretend that they were made privy to some 4K HD video footage of Tyler Robinson taking a shot on the roof.
They never said it was 4K
they, of course,
HD
were lying
footage.
through their teeth. We're going to get to that later. But I believe the reason they did it, the reason why they went insane, was to overcome the testimony of Caitlin Oliver, okay? Caitlin Oliver was the ATF's forensic biologist, and she gave a devastating testimony it was devastating to the prosecution. And these are the major points from that testimony, okay? First, she explicitly
That's also just not true. Like, that woman literally said there's a 1 in 9 trillion chance that it was anyone's DNA besides Tyler's. That's an identification. That's not just like an estimation. There are only 8 billion people on the planet. A 1 in 8 trillion chance, that is an identification. I'd love to see what mental gymnastics this sub-Saharan's going to do now.
That the media's assertion that Tyler Robinson's DNA was found on the gun was, and I quote, a scientifically indefensible statement. Take a listen.
From a scientific standpoint, you couldn't read the paragraph that sets out the likelihood ratio in your report, whatever the number, and then blast a headline in the media, Mr. Robinson's DNA is found on this item. That's a source attribution, is it not?
Correct, yes.
And that would not be scientifically defensible, would it?
Correct.
Tyler Robinson's lawyer then goes through great pains
very
to
clipped
show
out
the
of
media and
context.
the influencers took what was essentially scientific jargon and they lied. And I'm going to explain that to you, so I want you to lock in, okay? You may have heard them over and over again stipulating that Tyler Robinson was a major contributor to the DNA sample, right? So if you're uninitiated and you hear that, it sounds like it means Tyler Robinson's DNA was all over the gun. He's a major contributor to the DNA sample. But it actually does not mean that at all. And I want you to take a listen to what she says, and then I'm going to break it down for you further so that you can understand what they did here.
And you can't tell us anything about when the DNA was deposited on the trigger.
She's only going to show like clips of the cross-examination, none of the actual, or clips of the testimony because of the defense's witness, none of the cross-examination. Because the cross-examination clips are what dismantle, like, again, holy fuck, how am I just noticing? Look at this bitch's face. Imagine waking up to that. Like, you got to shoot it. Like, if you wake up to that, you got to shoot it. Like, what? That's scary. That's a monkey. That's freaky. But yeah, she won't show any of the cross-examination.
Correct?
Correct.
You can't tell us anything about whether, when you say it's at least 4, it could be 5, 6, or 7 people with DNA on that trigger or trigger guard, correct?
Correct, which is why we have the major contributor that is suitable for comparison, and the minor contributor is not suitable for comparison due to that complexity.
And again, major, minor just has to do with the levels of DNA you were seeing. It has nothing to do with someone being engaged in activity that is major in relation to the minor contributor.
Yeah, so the major contributor is the majority of the DNA contributed to that sample.
Okay.
So I'm going to break that down further and why this is really big, and we're building on something else that she's going to say that is explosive. So the idea of what she's explaining is that, like, this is my mug. I drink out of this mug.
Well, like, her debunking this only proves herself wrong. Like, if Candace entertains this, like, before we watch, if Candace entertains this and debunks it, all it does is debunk Candace, because Candace's entire theory is that the rifle was never there. The rifle didn't take the shot. No gun took a shot. There was never a gun fired. That it was an exploding shaped charge from Charlie's microphone that exploded into his neck. So again, like, for her to even like go at this theory, all it does is prove herself wrong.
Every day, so I definitively would have the most DNA fingerprints all over this mug. But occasionally, Ashley, my producer, will go fill up the mug. So let's say Ashley, when she fills up the mug, I'm all on the handle. Maybe Ashley just touches her 2 fingers here when she fills up the water, okay? She is saying that these are mixed samples. So let's say they just took a sample right here of where Ashley happens to have touched it, but it still also has my fingerprint on it. Ashley could be described as a major contributor to the DNA sample, despite the fact that this is my mug and the majority of this mug has my DNA on it. Ashley could be described because they just carved out that one portion, which happens to have Ashley's DNA on it. So they intentionally misconstrued the intention of the ATF report when they were relying on a sample in which Tyler Robinson was the major contributor of that particular mixed sample. And he also went through great lengths to explain to people why they don't use, since 1996, they actually don't rely on mixed samples for that very reason, because it confuses matters. They try to isolate samples. She then confirms our repeat report, as you just heard her, that there was a minimum of 5 sets of DNA on some of these mixed samples.
It's so, one thing, monkey face, every time you pause it, you get a crazy monkey face every fucking time. What was I even going to say? Candace contesting DNA evidence like she knows anything about science is, like, ridiculous. Candace acting like she knows anything. Candace can't pronounce words correctly. You think this woman understands DNA sequencing? This woman's literally fucking retarded.
4 sets of DNA, could be more people that actually were also found on the gun, but prints which were found on the gun, which of course included Lance Twiggs. It also included Matt Robinson, Tyler's father. I'm going to guess that it also included his brothers. And of those multiple sets, and this is what is crucial and is explosive, and everyone should have reported on this, she reported that Tyler Robinson's DNA sample was the most degraded. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Tyler Robinson, despite all of these prints on the gun, Tyler Robinson's prints were the most degraded, or his DNA was the most degraded. And I'm going to explain that in a second. Take a listen to her say that.
The 1.3 sample is described as swabs of trigger and trigger guard, right?
Correct.
You didn't do the swabs, but am I correct that you have no way of knowing which part was from the trigger and which part was from the trigger guard?
Correct. So they were swabbed together, so I wouldn't be able to say where the DNA came from.
And that's one of the samples that was degraded, correct?
There were signs of degradation present in that sample, yes.
And you said with regard to that sample that that was a sample consistent with at least 4 contributors, right?
Correct.
And did what you termed
Why is what
major
she's saying
profile
great? Like, it's just so
have the
stupid.
largest amount of degradation in that sample?
There was, yes.
Exhibit 1.3, do you know where that swab was taken from?
I'd have to refer back to page 2.
Can we refer back to page 2, please, Kimberly? Thank you.
1.3 is the swabs of the trigger and trigger guard of the rifle.
All right, going back to page 5. And we've had some talk, some testimony from you and some questions for you about the likelihood ratios. What was your conclusion as to the likelihood ratio that you analyzed in this question, in calculation number 3?
I don't think we need this.
The DNA profile was at least one.
Okay, so you heard her say that his was the most degraded of the firearms, and she's talking about the trigger guard and the trigger. She's not sure where they got the sample from, and that's a huge difference because they kept saying that his DNA was on the trigger, and she's
She
admitting.
didn't even say it's the most degraded. She just said that there was degradation. That's all she said. But again, that's not crazy to think about. Like, if I was to shoot somebody, I'd probably make a quick attempt to, like, wipe the trigger. Like, why wouldn't you? That's just common sense.
It could be the trigger guard. That's just the cover for the trigger. And of all of the samples that were on there, Tyler's was the most degraded. That is an absolute bombshell. Let me explain why, okay? Because
this is why women
it's
are
not
retarded.
possible. For clarity, earlier on, she discusses that DNA can stay on an object for a very long time. She doesn't get specific. I can tell you, and you can research this on your own, DNA can stay on an object for decades, okay? But over time, it can certainly degrade. It can degrade because it's been exposed, and she does testify to humidity over time. Dust particles begin to set in if you just put up your grandpa's gun, and dust particles.
Like, he literally, after taking the shot, ran with the rifle under a towel, put the rifle in the fucking woods. You don't think maybe, like, the towel rubbed on it? Like, it's such a stupid fucking, like, this is what I'm talking about. No common sense. Like, literally no common sense. I don't even need time to think about it. I just, with common sense, know that she is so fucking wrong.
Sitting in your house because you don't use it, that would be a reason that it might degrade. Maybe you had water on it, it might degrade. It does not seem to me that DNA would suddenly degrade immediately after someone shoots a person, jumps off a rooftop, and tosses the gun into a nearby bush. Okay,
He didn't toss
this
it.
registers to me as more evidence that Lance Twiggs simply took Tyler Robinson's family heirloom of a gun and helped the feds set him up as a patsy. There's no reason why Lance Twiggs's prints are less degraded than Tyler Robinson's prints on this gun if Tyler Robinson is the shooter. It is a massive admission by her that his prints were degrading, given how much it takes to degrade those prints. So that was something that I felt that they were intentionally.
If that was a massive thing, then the defense would have pushed 10 times harder on that line of questioning about that. They would have made a way bigger deal of that. It's not that big of a thing, though. You're the only one. Holy shit. Holy monkey face. I keep noticing it. I'm not even trying to do it, guys. Every time, can somebody make like a little highlight reel of every time I've paused it and we got the monkey face? Because this is just, this is perfect. I mean, look at that.
Trying to gloss over and realizing that she's basically kind of asserting like Nat Robinson and Lance Twiggs had a stronger DNA sample than Tyler Robinson did. He was the most degraded. And then, of course, when you couple this with the day earlier, the ATFs, every time the ATF spoke, it was devastating for the prosecution. The ATF ballistics expert was a woman named Samantha Carner. She spoke on day 4, and she similarly gave testimony that was very in the weeds and scientific. And whenever they do that, I just start researching the numbers they're saying, because I know that there's a point being made. And Tyler Robinson's defense did a very good job of asking her to read her report of the diameter range for the bullet jacket fragment. By the way, it was weird off the bat that they said they took 7 fragments from Charlie's body. She testifies that she only received 4 of them in a manila envelope. So 3 disappeared. Of the 4 that she got, 3 of them were unusable, and then she was left with 1, which she labeled 6A, and that's what they're discussing, this bullet jacket fragment. And she gives this a range of diameter, and it describes in detail why she gave it that range and how confident she was that you were looking for a bullet that would be in this range of a diameter. Take a listen to this testimony and the range that she gives.
The range of the diameter for the...
What happened to your exploding mic, Candace? So a shot was taken? You've now just admitted that a shot was taken, that it wasn't a shaped charge? That a shot was taken?
A 6A bullet jacket fragment was 0.286 to 0.301 inches.
The reason why that matters is because it's too small for Tyler's 30-06. That's why he was going through great lengths to get her saying that on record.
No, it's not. It's an extremely fragmented piece of a bullet.
6 would begin at 0.308. and then it goes upward. The cartridge diameter goes upward to 0.471. So she's basically admitting it's not Tyler Robinson's gun. I'd love to see this go on. I would love to see this
Again, like if that was the case, holy fucking monkey face. Every time I pause it, holy shit, it's amazing. Every time I pause it, we get a monkey face. But it's like, if that was the case, the defense would have pushed 10 times harder on it. They would have got a lot more information about it, and there would be articles written. But again, like, that's not the case. That's just... It's just impossible. Like, listening to women try and just use any kind... It's just... This is harder than any workout in the world. For anyone who's like, oh, it's hard to go to the gym. No, it's not. It's hard to listen to women. It's hard to listen to women try and be smart.
Go further, because... well, if people are going to be able to see the full extent of this trial, you are going to really appreciate the psychological campaign further that is being employed right now, the audacity of these influencers. We return now to Exhibit 12.4, okay? 12.4, again, is the original compilation footage. It's the footage of Tyler Robinson or Timothy Chalamet, right? Or Timothy Chalamet. Maybe it's Ben Shapiro, I don't know.
Or Timothy Chalamet. Bitch. Okay, again, what she's going to say is, oh, they all said there's this 4K, 8K video that exists of Tyler Robinson taking the shot. That was never once said. What they said is they have the security footage and they have a slightly zoomed in, enhanced version of it where you could see him climb on the roof, go up to the spot, lay prone, and then you could see him hopping off the roof and running towards the woods. For anyone who wants a more in-detailed explanation on that, go watch Kai Schwemmer's video about it. Kai Schwemmer went live either last night or 2 nights ago. He was there at the trial, saw the video with his own eyes, and he reported on it. And he gave a detailed, very honest version of it. Probably the most honest version of it. Everybody has the like Candace has her reasons. One thing, monkey face. Candace has her reasons to say why, oh, this is not Tyler. Then they have the reasons to say, oh, it 100% is Tyler. Kai is completely unbiased in this. Kai is somebody who's just there for the truth and facts. He gave the greatest take on it. No, you can't identify that it's Tyler by looking at the video if that's all the only context you have. But with all the other context and all the other evidence and all the other clues we have, and the videos of Tyler getting on campus, the videos of his car, the videos of him re-showing up to campus, the text messages, the note, the admission from the boyfriend, when you have all of it put together, the bullets, the gun, all the different DNA evidence, everything put together, yes, you can make the fair assumption that that video is of Tyler Robinson taking the shot. It is just common sense at a point. It's just following the pattern. But she has no pattern recognition skills like most sub-Saharans, and she is just going off the rails like a fucking retarded, delusional, conspiratard woman.
No, maybe Ben Shapiro's a little too short, but any brunette male, right, of a decent height could be walking up these stairs, and they're giving us this compilation of parking garage footage plus footage of Tyler Robinson jumping onto the rooftop. They made it clear on day 2 of the trial that 12.4, this compilation, does not show Tyler Robinson taking the shot, okay? They made that perfectly clear, and take a listen to that.
If you wouldn't mind just describing in a bit more detail what this compilation includes.
The compilation shows the movements of believed to be Mr. Robinson on Utah Valley University campus, arriving and leaving in a vehicle, arriving and leaving on foot, and then returning and leaving, and then attempting to gain access again in a vehicle.
I want everyone to think about this for a moment. Candace spent the last 10, 11 months or so talking about Egyptian planes, astral projection, time traveling, X-Men, B theories, trapdoors, palm pistols, energy weapons, France, Russia, Israel, the United States government, America Kirk, Blake Neff, Andrew Colvett, all these people were on the chopping block to be the murderer for Charlie Kirk in Candace Owens' eyes. And never in her mind was a shot taken. It was never a gunshot. It was always something else. But now Candace has admitted it's a gun. Candace is now just being like, oh, so it might be a gunshot. It's not. I haven't heard her mention a shaped charge or an exploding mic this whole episode. She is literally just a fucking retard. That's all she is. She is a retard, a grifting retard.
And
I'm the most vindicated man alive when it comes to Candace Owens. I was getting so much shit for shitting on Candace in September and October following the assassination. I literally was getting so much hate from Candace fans. She's such a fucking retard. It's insane. And again, another monkey face.
Throughout the day are included in the videos also.
Is there any footage of the alleged shooting?
There is not, Judge.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, so 12.4 does not have any footage, did not capture footage of Tyler Robinson actually taking a shot.
Sorry he didn't have a fucking GoPro on when he took the shot, but they do have the video of him laying prone with the rifle. Holy monkey face. But again, like, it's the same fucking thing. This is what I'm talking about, where it's like, how do... It's just crazy. The fact that people believe this nonsense and believe this stupid sub-Saharan retard, I don't even know what to do.
And actually taking a shot. Also on day 2, they discussed a piece of footage that was born from 12.4, okay? They discussed it, and it was an exhibit that was labeled 12.1. It was the same footage as 12.4, which we've all seen. That is available. You can go watch that entire footage. You can watch that day 2 of the trial. It is the same footage, but except they claim that they enhanced the footage, and they were very clear about what that meant. They went, this was a whole back and forth about what does it mean you took 12.4 and you enhanced it, and here is what they said 12.1 was. Take a listen.
Let's return again to West Bismarck State's Exhibit 12.1.
I know where she's going with this for the next couple minutes because I could already just tell. It's going to be nothing big, so I got to take a piss. I'm going to take a piss. I'm just going to let it play.
Yes.
And the difference between 12.1, or what's been marked as State's Exhibit 12.1, and 12.4 are, if I understand you correctly, are these enhancements that we've been talking about.
Yes.
And specifically, what be specific about the enhancements, and let's go one at a time.
Okay.
I think there's a reference to either red circles or red highlights.
Correct.
That's how Mr. Olson described it, red highlights.
Yes.
Do you know what he's, or what is he referencing by the red highlights, or what do you believe he's referencing?
I believe he's referring to red ovals or circles that were placed over the image to identify specific individuals of note.
I think the next enhancement that has been mentioned that we've talked about is there's some blurring.
Yes.
Do you know what that, tell us what that is. What blurring do you see in what's been marked as State's Exhibit 12.1 that you now don't see in 12.4?
If I recall, there were some individuals in the parking garage footage and their faces were blurred.
Is anything other than faces being blurred? And then the last thing is, I believe, is there's some zooming in and zooming out that's in 12.1 that has been removed
Yes.
from 12.4. What can you tell us about the zooming in and the zooming out?
Predominantly, it's in the area that was referred to as viewing the Losi building rooftop. I believe it focuses on the area where Mr. Robinson comes up the stairs and onto the rooftop.
What's going on with my camera?
Particular footage was zoomed in. For
What happened to my green screen when I did so? I literally go and take a piss, and now my green screen's all fucked up. What happened? Yeah, I'll fix it during this.
So to reiterate, 12.1 is simply an enhanced video of 12.4. What enhanced means is that it zooms in at the end on the Losi Center portion. When we just see a blur running across, they said we zoomed in on this. And I don't know about you guys. My experience is that when you zoom in, things become less clear on my phone, but I've never claimed to be a tech genius. We're also told that it features highlights, and they've added some red circles like we do often on this show. And they also decided to blur some faces of other people that were in the background during parking lot shots. They made this clear. Beyond that, they actually showed 12.1 already in courts, but it was for the judge and the witness only, except they made a mistake. And they accidentally left their computer open, so Court TV captured some of that footage. And you can see that it is literally the exact same video as 12.4, but it's been zoomed in. So great work from this ex-user at CanCon for catching that. I don't know if we can pull that up, Sky. Around the 2:35 mark, he zooms in and shows the video. Actually, did you pull that link by any chance? Yeah, let's play that. Let's play this link so you can actually see it yourselves before we watch how the influencers reacted. And they are watching it on the screen.
Okay, now you can see that this is the top right quadrant that you would be looking at when the camera moved to where Robinson jumps off, allegedly Robinson jumps off the roof. Now, you can't see this here because it's a little difficult. I'll zoom in as much as I can so you guys can see, but the clear identifying image of Tyler Robinson, you're going to see it on this screen. And again, this is at 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 27 seconds on Court TV's day 2 of the trial. Okay, so you're going to see here, correction, it's 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Yeah, but again, like, this isn't even... This is so retarded. If this is Candace's theory, she's actually dumber than I thought. I guess we'll have to see where she goes with this, but if she's about to say, if she's about to say, oh, they can't make an identifier from this video, this is the video from Tuesday. This isn't the video from Friday. The enhanced video was on Friday. This was the unenhanced normal footage that we kind of all saw in September anyway. We already saw this video in September. This video was blasted all over X in the news in September. I literally covered it on the show in September.
He's running across now. I don't know.
So this would all just be irrelevant, and everything she's saying now would just be retarded.
Because all he is a pixel. That's all he is a pixel. He's running across right now. Watch.
I can see it. Just saw the pixel.
Yeah, but that doesn't prove anything. This is the Tuesday. This is the unenhanced.
Again, I'm not saying one way or the other here. I am not saying one way
So
or the other.
dumb. Anyone who believes this retard, literally stop watching my show. You're not going to make it. You are a complete and utter fucking retard.
It's a photo that everybody has seen in the courtroom. That's it. It was leaked by the state. It was on one of the state attorneys.
Fantastic work. He is correct. I fact checked that. We looked at it. We saw them go back and forth about why they didn't want to play it for the public. And sure enough, they made a mistake and accidentally played it for the public. That blur that you just saw. Now, granted, obviously, we're looking at a video of a video, but that's the video. That's it. And 12 point, it's born of 12.4, which you are free to watch yourself on day 2 of the trial. And you can zoom in yourself and you can see it's still blurry. There was nothing identifying about Tyler Robinson. But that's not why Erica asked the influencers to come, right? She didn't ask the influencers come to demonstrate the truth or be honest about what they saw. So,
and also, to be clear, Court TV has a 480p camera in the court. It might be 720, but I think it's 480. So you're seeing a video of a video. Like, the quality, again, it's just, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this, but obviously, like, they're probably looking at a little bit better of a quality than we're seeing as well. You got to factor that in, but she's not. Again, monkey face every time.
Is Benny Johnson's reaction to the video. Take a listen.
We're outside of the 4th District Courthouse here in Utah. The Charlie Kirk preliminary murder trial just wrapped. We were there and witnessed everything. And you have to hear this because it was devastating what we watched. And the judge ruled that you can't see the high definition quality video 4K of 4K. Tyler Robinson committing the murder.
That's just him being an idiot. That doesn't mean that that's what the, like, that's not what the prosecution said. Like, that's just, again, him over-exaggerating. It's the equivalent to you over-exaggerating. You're trying to prove your claim. He's trying to prove his claim. It's not crazy for people trying to prove their claim to over-exaggerate and over-embellish a bit. That's not, like, is it honest? No. But is it common? Yes. Like, what? Like, that's just retarded. It's a stupid thing to nitpick at.
See clearly Tyler Robinson's face. You can see crystal clear the license plate number on his vehicle, his movements on the rooftop. You can time.
There was a video where you saw his license plate. I literally talked about that on the show as well. Candace just didn't want to cover that, apparently.
Charlie Kirk was murdered, and what you also couldn't see was what happened inside of the courthouse. Erica Kirk was sobbing in the arms of her mother-in-law, Charlie's mother. Mrs. Kirk, feet away, is Tyler Robinson, pale, sallow, bony, emaciated, staring at the floor the whole time, twitching and looking straight ahead, refuses to watch the video, refuses to make eye contact with the family. Emotional day. The judge played all 20 minutes of the high-definition security footage, and the whole courthouse gasped when it was over. It was really tough to watch. The prosecution has a demonstrable, overwhelming case. They said that multiple times. The defense has nothing. They asked minutiae questions about DNA evidence, but the judge was just chewing them along as we get to this 4K video reveal that will eventually be made public. It's already a case that is overwhelming against Tyler Robinson, but once you see this video, you will cast out all of the demons that have been attacking the Kirk family. It has been one of the most grotesque demonic evils that have been visited upon innocent people. It's happened to this beautiful family. Once you see all of the evidence that we saw today, it's over. And that's what the lawyer said today. Please pray. Erica Kirk asked us to do this. Pray.
And he's not wrong, because he might be embellishing about the 4K aspect, but what's not untrue is that when you have all the evidence that they presented, and then you have those videos on top of it of Tyler coming to campus, you have the videos of the roof, etc., even if you can't specifically make out Tyler, with all the other evidence surrounding it, you can identify that as Tyler. That is just common sense. And a common sense jury would identify that as Tyler every time.
For a speedy trial. We have a right to a speedy trial here. It's in our Constitution. We don't have to wait years in order to get to a trial phase here. We want justice to be done. Justice has to be done in this case, and done immediately. So please pray for the Kirks. They've been through.
Yeah, he's gonna plead guilty when he gets arraigned.
And just a word to all Christians out there: the Bible calls us in the Old Testament, the New Testament, to defend the widow, to defend the orphans, to provide for her, and to stand up for her. And so, be a Christian today. Be upright. Please pray for justice in this case and a speedy trial. Thank you. God bless you.
It's so shameless and grotesque and dishonest, and the amount of money being spent on this for these emotional assets to come out and wax poetic and then not realize they made a mistake, and now they're all kind of backtracking, being like, oh, no, it doesn't actually show him get shot, but it shows him getting into the prone position, and oh, they didn't realize that they had no idea when they all started making these videos to cover up the minutia of the DNA evidence. They were talking about the DNA evidence. Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the video that we're telling you was exclusively shown to us, which is, it's crazy, but it was so clear at the very end of day 5, they showed the influencers 4K HD, perfectly clear. Everyone else was spending 9 hours a day watching every day of the hearing, but they waited till the end to give this gift to the same influencers who have been trying to help the government wage a war against our minds. This is a psychological operation that is failing. It is, like I said, requiring an unbelievable amount of money. And now I get why they had to file for FARA, right? Like, I mean, people are getting paid. There is no other explanation for how people could lie like this. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at Benny Johnson. I've never had an issue with Benny Johnson. This gives me an issue with Benny Johnson. How do you lie like that? All of the influencers who came out and lied, this word overwhelming. The reason why they do that sort of repetition, just so you guys understand.
He's lying the same reason you are. He's embellishing to try and, prove his side a little bit right more. But the only difference is he actually has some credibility with the evidence around. Like, his claim is that Tyler Robinson's guilty, which is the correct claim. Again, monkey face as well. Every time we pause, it's been a monkey face.
It's proven effective in the past. It used to work. How many of you guys watching this right now did actually lock down at home and believe that you were going to die from COVID? Wear a mask. 6 feet social distancing. The evidence is overwhelming against Tyler Robinson. They have shown, right, over the course of many decades that these sorts of psychological operations work. If you repeat something enough times, it can become true for some people, even if it defies common sense. Like I said, I was willing to concede points. Like I've been investigating. It's possible we got something. Nothing that they presented. In fact, the contrary was presented. It's not minute when they're talking about the DNA. It's not minute when the ATF is saying that the most degraded sample was Tyler Robinson's on not the trigger, or not clear if it's the trigger or the trigger cover. That's not minute. That's a crucial detail in which somebody's going to have to explain. Somebody's going to have to explain why Lance Twiggs is not being considered a suspect when his DNA is on everything, more of his DNA than Tyler's on the gun. That requires a logical explanation, not a unit of influencers that are taking money trying to convince us of the opposite. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a war for your mind. I think you understand that. And they put me on trial in a variety of ways. And I don't actually care because I'm built for this. I am not going to watch Charlie Kirk, my friend, be assassinated in broad daylight, watch everyone turn their back on him for money, and sit back idly and allow it to still go. That doesn't work for me. And actually, I am so rested right now and so ready for war that they have, the last 9-10 months was basically me feeling weakened, having watched that in a state of mourning and feeling like every day I was just sort of coming up for air. They're not going to like what comes next because I'm 100% ready for it. And one of the biggest bombshells, which we're going to cover when we get back from a break, I know we're over time, but we got to do it, is Ben Shapiro's admission. We'll be right back. All right, you guys. So I recently went on a trip to Russia.
Running ads is what, holy fucking goy. Crazy to run ads. This is why I like that we started late. Because now I can just fast forward through this bitch's ads. And she's like, and Ben Shapiro's admission. It's like, I don't like Ben Shapiro as much as the fucking next guy. But to say he admitted any, like, holy delusion.
% off. And if you see a post-purchase survey, mention that you heard about Cozy Earth right here. Charlie Kirk was betrayed. That is evident. He's being betrayed every single day. I can't wait to get into Turning Point USA and the crash out they had online. Andrew Colvett finally coming up to the surface. Deceitful, the Judas, no question. My dream was on point about who he is, and everyone is now seeing his character. So much so that Ben Shapiro actually ventured out to tell the truth about him and Charlie's relationship, while Andrew really was going to say that Charlie and Ben were friends. It is actually one of the markers for me that something was very wrong was how instantly involved Ben Shapiro was. I said this on the show. I said, Ben Shapiro is acting really weird. He never liked Charlie.
He wasn't friends with Charlie when Charlie died, yes, but he was friends with him in the past. And again, that's a crazy thing. It's like, if somebody you know from the past who, you may or may not have been friends with dies and gets shot and killed, yeah, like, you're going to feel some emotions towards that. Again, I'm not a Ben Shapiro defender, but it's like, that's just like an absurd claim to be like, oh, Ben Shapiro was thinking about Charlie after he got killed? He must be in on it. It's like, what?
I never liked him. This is a known fact. Anybody who knows Charlie Kirk knows that he did not like Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro attempted to stop Charlie from rising. It's just a fact. Like everybody else, when he began his career, ooh, that's cool, it's Ben Shapiro, I'd love to work with him. And then you find out about Ben Shapiro's character and how he operates behind the scenes to stop people. Just like Megyn Kelly has had that experience recently. It is just who Ben is. It's how he was raised. And apparently has lots to do with his father, who controls accounts and uses pen names to write nice stuff about his son and follows him wherever he works. There is a psychopathology there without question. Now, I kept saying that I don't know how, but I do feel that somehow Ben Shapiro was set up in this. I'll pick up the bloody mic. He races to give $1 million. His company is suffering, but he's giving $1 million to Turning Point USA. Erica allows him to open despite what she knows, which is that her husband didn't like this guy at AmFest. What is going on here? What is actually happening here? Then there was this really strange phone call that I had with Matt Walsh, and I did not know that Ben Shapiro was in town on this date when I had the phone call. I'll talk about that another time because we were pressed for time, but I explained to my team, and I made it clear to them on that December day that I just feel like Daily Wire is somehow more involved in this, and I don't really know how. Well, guess what? The answer arrived. Ben Shapiro shared something that is stunning. It is crazy. When we left, we were talking about...
She just said the Daily Wire's more involved right after saying she had a phone call with Matt Walsh. If you're going to insinuate that, like, Matt Walsh knew about this and let it happen, again, I will never believe that.
Car ride. Something is not right about this car ride to the hospital, which Brian Harple is suing me over and using Ben Shapiro's lawyers and Ben Shapiro's brother-in-law to do so. Right? Ben Shapiro's lawyers who have been suing me and my family for years because he can't earn, he has to steal. And the courts is a great way to do that. Violations. You violated a non-disparagement. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you into bankruptcy. You can't win without stealing. Well, Ben Shapiro made this admission, which was shocking, about what took place in that very short car ride, approximate 7-minute car ride to the hospital after Charlie got hit. Ben Shapiro was receiving live updates from somebody in that vehicle. Take a listen.
I remember where I was when all this was happening.
Again, I said this in the beginning, but she's not going to mention it. So was Tim Pool. So was Tim Pool and multiple other people's security teams. Again, that's not the craziest thing in the world.
I was in Los Angeles. I had sort of a breakfast/lunch meeting with somebody. And I got the news that Charlie had been shot. And my security was on the phone with Charlie's security because nobody knew what the hell was going on, while Charlie was still in the back of the car, and we were sort of getting updates along the way. There's visual timelines that show Charlie's body being carried to a vehicle within minutes of being shot. Apparently, he was still alive at the time. Again, I know that only because my security was talking to his security in the car.
Somebody make that make sense. Go ahead.
That's, again,
You're gonna have to become
not the most absurd thing in the world. That's not the most absurd thing.
Conspiracy theorists to make that make sense. This is the enemy of Charlie Kirk is telling you that he was receiving live updates during 7 minutes, critical minutes, while Charlie was bleeding in the backseat. While Brian Harpole, let's go back and actually show our diagram. Brian Harpole stipulates that it couldn't have been him that was providing those updates because he was just packing like 40 feet of gauze into Charlie's neck. And it couldn't have been Rick Cutler because Rick Cutler had him. He had the tattoo. He was holding his brother. He saw the tattoo with 2 hands because the door was wide open because Charlie's so tall he was hanging out. And there's evidence of that because they caught a police tail. Then we have Frank Turek. Now, his story, I will say, is a little complicated. We are told he was praying in the backseat, but also Frank says that he started CPR, but Brian Harpole says no such thing took place because CPR would have been the wrong thing to do while he was bleeding. Gets a little, Frank Turek is an option, for sure. Yeah, Frank Turek is an option of someone who could have been statusing Ben Shapiro's security during this time. We've got Dan Flood and Justin Davis. Justin Davis was driving upwards to 100 miles per hour. I'm going to say he didn't phone Ben Shapiro's or answer the phone call of Ben Shapiro's security to update him because he was focused on the road. That would make the most sense. If the story that Brian Harpole told was true, that leaves us with Dan Flood. Either Dan Flood or Frank Turek were providing updates. But it couldn't have been Frank Turek. I'm sorry, I've lost my mind. Frank Turek left his kids on FaceTime. I'm so sorry. We're playing Guess Who right now. Frank Turek's down. He's down. Remember his phone.
Again, this is
just
just
didn't even realize
like,
while he was
this
praying
is
out
how
loud his
women
kids.
like try and reason with, this is, again, exhibit A, why women are fucking retarded, Your Honor.
Were just left on the phone on FaceTime because that's what he was doing. So it can't be Frank.
It's like actually painful to watch. I thought this would be entertaining. This is painful to watch right now.
Bye-bye,
It
Brian.
is. She's so retarded.
Bye-bye, Rick Cutler. Justin and Dan? In this dark game of Guess Who? Which one of you guys called 911? Because they've never said who called 911 because the 911 calls that were released show that neither of them called 911. Is there a missing 911 call? Why would we not have it? That's public information. Who called 911? Someone called 911 and then called Ben's security or answered Ben's security's call and provided updates. So Ben knew what was happening before the rest of the world found out around 12:38 p.m. By the time that video began making the rounds, it was 12:38 p.m. If you go back and check on X, Ben knew sooner because someone in that car informed his security that Charlie had been hit. Rather than focusing on the chaos of trying to save Charlie's life, they said, you know what?
And
911
also,
can wait.
you don't know that it could have been, but you also don't know that it's someone in the car. Maybe someone called someone from Charlie's security team who was contacting someone in the car, and like that person had put out something to the again, you don't know the full context as well. But regardless, even if it was someone in the car, it wouldn't be that absurd. Tim Pool literally came out and said the same thing. He's like, yeah, my security was on the phone with his too. What do you have to say about it? You're not going to include me in your evidence because it doesn't fit your narrative because I'm not a fucking Jew. And again, it's just so crazy. And it's like, again, I'm against Zionism, organized Jewry, all that more than the next guy. But it's like to say if I don't believe, the facts and evidence that I'm a fucking, that I'm a Zio shill, working for it's just so absurd. Candace is just so delusional, and she will never come back from this in the end. In the end, what's going to happen to Candace here is probably what happened to Alex Jones. Candace is going to end up owing Erica Kirk like $1 billion. That is what's going to happen. Candace is going to get the Alex Jones punishment. I could see it happening now. Candace Owens is going to end up owing Erica Kirk like $1 billion fucking dollars.
Ben needs an update right now. I know what my gut is telling me about Charlie's assassination. I've been clear on the fact that I believe Israel is involved, and I've been clear on the fact that there is something very dark about the history of Ben Shapiro, the way that he stalks and obsesses. I've made it clear on this show that it's getting to a point when you get fired from a company, and for 2.5 years, they stalk you via the court system, there's something that starts to feel dangerous about it. And I've been saying he's too close to this situation. Ben is just too close to this situation for someone who was not friends with Charlie Kirk. And the panic of which a bunch of influencers then tried to come out and persuade the public that this was normal, that they were all receiving they're lying through their teeth. Tim Pool is lying through his teeth. He did not receive updates from somebody in that car about Charlie's status. Jeremy Boring, who just wanted to
She did mention Tim Pool. Okay, but she's saying, no, he didn't. He didn't. Guys, he's clear. He's clear. He 100% didn't. I know that for a fact. How do you know that, bitch? How do you know?
Jumped in and tried to pretend that it was my security that was getting those updates. I confirmed that is a lie. They said they were not on the phone with anybody in that car during those crucial minutes. Okay? Jeremy Boring lied through his teeth. So who on Ben's IDF Israeli Mossad security apparatus team, former IDF, was receiving updates about Charlie's condition and why? And who was Ben Shapiro at lunch with? In fact, I'd like to know so much that if somebody can provide evidence of who he was at lunch with, because I have a hunch. I have a hunch of who he was with in LA when this happened. I will put up $10,000 bounty on that piece of information. Tips at CandaceOwens.com.
It's so crazy. If anyone can get me Ben Shapiro's personal day planner, 10,000, that's just like crazy. It's actually just so absurd. Yeah, I mean, that's what you get when you gotta you marry a guy worth $250 million after only knowing him for 2 weeks.
10,000 bounty. Just want to know who.
What do they call that? Negro rich? African American rich? No, there's a term for it, right? Just throwing around money.
I like this. I know what my gut has told me about the situation from the moment that it took place. I know what beyond my gut and beyond my dreams, the statement from Andrew Colbert, it was supposed to be you. Was it? Was it? Is it fair to ask if it's plausible that when Charlie was taken to the Hamptons, the phone call no one wants to address from Bibi Netanyahu, is it fair to ask the question if it was literally supposed to be me who was supposed to be back on tour with Charlie? Did he say no to killing Candace Owens?
This bitch really just make it all about herself? Was the plot originally to kill me and Charlie's the one who decided to take it for... Bitch. Holy. Candace was in love with Charlie, never got to fuck him, and this is her reaction to that.
And then did he become a liability because he said no? What did Charlie turn down from Bibi Netanyahu while Erica was there? Again, the people that were present don't even want to acknowledge the phone call. I only got an acknowledgement that it happened from Erica in person, who then said, oh, he was just following up on a letter that Charlie wrote in May. Really? Bill Ackman's house, you put Bibi Netanyahu on the phone? And he's just like, hey, I got your letter. I want to talk about that letter from months ago.
Well, yeah, it was a 10-page letter on how to rape Americans with propaganda that Charlie wrote. So, yeah, to be honest, if I received that letter, I'd give the person a call. And again, monkey face.
I don't buy it, guys. I think this is darker than we could ever imagine. I think Baron Coleman put it in the correct terms when he said Charlie said no to something way deeper and darker, to the Prince of Darkness himself. I do believe that. We're going to find out more. I'm on top of that car. Do not stop investigating, okay? All of these sidetracking stuff, these reports coming out, trying to say this person, oh, even looking into this makes you put a target on air. Ignore the noise. Ignore the influencers. They have chosen a side, okay? They have made a decision to tell their souls, and their reward for that.
I love how she doesn't debunk any of the actual evidence. She doesn't even acknowledge her claims on the microphone. She doesn't acknowledge any of her crazy wrong theories about astral projection and X-Men and time travel and palm pistols and trapdoors and energy weapons and bees and maroon. Like, she doesn't acknowledge any of her theories, doesn't debunk any of the evidence. What does she do? She quotes like one line from the ATF. She completely misreads the Twig situation, as an oblivious woman would. And then now her next evidence is this Ben Shapiro nonsense. And it's just like, this is what a stupid bitch looks like. This is really the reasoning of a stupid bitch right here.
Will be eternal, okay? Ain't the reward you want.
She's not interested in the truth at all. All she's interested in is her own narrative.
Be eternal. Eternal damnation is a reward of sorts, I suppose. That's my belief. Stay focused on this investigation. We will have so much more this week in terms of where we left off and what was going on in that car. We got an unbelievable tip about that piece, which we describe as looking like cardboard that was in the back. I believe this is what has caused the mass panic, the reports, the influencers attacking, naming me. It is meant to be a distraction, but I feel fortified right now. And I need the rest of you guys too as well. I need everybody to be focused.
Yeah, guys, me putting Candace Owens in the title, guys, I'm peak fed. I'm a fed, guys, I have to be. I put her name in the title, guys, sorry. I'm actually Cash Patel. I'm actually just Cash Patel in whiteface.
More information, keep pressing. They're already going to allow the trial to go through. Good. We will never get an opportunity to understand what rules over us than right now. Like, this is the biggest opportunity for us to really stare this beast in the face. Everything is being exposed, just as Charlie expected. He said his death would be associated with a wider awakening. And let me tell you right now, my eyes are wide open. Your eyes are wide open. Keep them wide open. Keep sending tips. Again, I am looking for specific information regarding the timing of when the K9 units were around. I know they were eventually sent on their way. They were not allowed to enter the courtyard. That also became clear in testimony that they immediately closed the courtyard off to anybody but the feds. The FBI took over that region, so we can now reasonably assume that the paver was telling the truth when he said that the FBI made the call, because only the FBI was allowed to make calls about what was going on in the courtyard. The FBI then kept the bomb dogs away from the courtyard. The FBI is evidently, to me, in my opinion, engaged in a massive cover-up. I will tell you that I had a sense immediately that Charlie was betrayed. On September 10th, immediately I said he was betrayed. But I also had a sense they wouldn't get away with it. And I want to leave you with that optimistic note, because we're not going to have, maybe we have time today to get into comments. I don't know. We will take a brief break here, and we'll come right back and do a few comments, actually.
Yeah, that's where we're going to end it. I don't need to see her fucking comments. We got our own comments to do still, and I don't need to see her fucking ads. That's actually just insane. It's like the level of cope is crazy, and At a point, you just have to, we got to acknowledge, it's like Candace can say she's interested in the truth. Candace is not interested in the truth. If she was interested in the truth, then her video today would have been about debunking the actual evidence, not ignoring it all. When they say there was an overwhelming amount of evidence, you know, you think Candace would debunk that overwhelming amount of evidence. No, what does she do? She makes an entire show about the word overwhelming and how they use that in psychological operations. It's like, you are a dumb bitch. You are the conspiratards we talk about. You are the people we want to separate ourselves from because you make the entire America First movement look bad. We can't just allow anybody Israel critical in it. You know, that is one of the big things Nick talks about and a lot of different people talk about. Here, wait 1 second. Delta, go away. She's standing right next to my tripod. Delta, go away. Go away. Come here. Let's come over here. Let's do that. That's simpler. I'd rather have you jumping on me than knocking over my new camera. But okay, we're going to go. We're going to do our comment section. We're going to do the comments from Friday as well because we didn't get to do them. And we will then do the comments from over the weekend as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. You guys know my opinions on all that. I gave all my opinions. I stopped that video enough for you guys to know. But okay. Let's see. Where were we? Like, I'm trying to figure out where the comments start and stop from. Where was last week's? Okay, yeah, here. We'll start with last week, and then we'll go back to this week right after. Here we go.
Can't believe it's been 10 months. This dude needs to be convicted fast PLS.
Yeah, they're working on it. Don't worry.
Also, this dude Tyler actually looks like a pedophile.
There's literally just so many stupid comments about, like, again, all the stupid comments I'm going to just not even read today.
Defund the Zog.
Yeah, defund the Zog.
Lance sounded less gay than I thought he would.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to, like, you know, change his character a little for the video. I think he's probably really gay in real life, and he just, like, tried to make himself look like a bit more of a Chad.
He did, huh? His voice was deep. I was expecting a feminine squeaky voice or something. Lance Twiggs is such a fucking freak, bro. You hear about the wire nests he made? Dude was manufacturing mechanisms and talking in code with ChatGPT. I don't really see where they have evidence that proves Tyler shot him. I think their case is shit. Do you ever listen to Baron Coleman?
No, but yeah, again, we've gone over all the evidence. There's overwhelming evidence, and if you're saying you don't see it, then you're just purposely ignoring it.
I haven't seen that many people talking about this case.
Yeah. Not a lot of people are giving. I think I gave the best, all last week, I think I gave the best coverage of it. And then Kai Schwemmer gave the best coverage of the video.
That guy that jumped out of the plane and told the chick that she knows what to do is some shit you would do if you had an extra life face with tears of joy.
That is, if I had 9 lives, that is something I would do. I would become a plane instructor and kill myself as I'm instructing a student. I'd jump off the back of the plane. If I had 9 lives, I would literally find the 8 funniest ways to kill yourself to, like, fuck people up, and I would do it. I say it all the time, but it's so true. Like, if I had 9 lives, I swear I would blow my shit clean off in the craziest situations. I would marry a woman just to divorce her, and during the divorce proceedings in court, I'd blow my shit clean off for live number, like, 3. Like, it's just incredible, you know? If you have 9 lives, you know, what would you do with them? I would kill myself for 8 of them to fuck with people. That's what I would do. And then the 9th one, I'd live. You know, you want to live. You want to have a good life. Like, some people would be like, I live all 9 lives. It's like, you're not living then. I would kill myself in 8 crazy ways.
I know you're gonna talk about Lindsey Graham, but more importantly, I can't believe Sam Neill died, bro. Those were my favorite movies growing up.
Sam Neill died? Damn, that's sad. I didn't even know.
I wish you could debate Candace about this because there's a lot of things I couldn't have said better myself.
Yeah, I do wish I could debate Candace. That would be nice.
The first show of yours I listened to was the one you posted after Charlie's death. Can't believe it's been 10 months. On the other hand, you're getting chubby, big boy. Let's lay off the burgers.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I am just gonna kill myself.
The state did not make their case.
This was a
Please,
woman, by
instead
the
of
way.
just saying, provide supporting evidence. Their video footage never even clearly shows even a clear image of Robinson. The state proved they don't have any real evidence. A bunch of manufactured claims without legitimate procedure in presenting.
Yeah, so this was made by like a boomer-looking woman, and I gave her a long response. I said, what about the DNA evidence? What about his parents turning him in? What about the note admitting to it that had his DNA on it? What about the defense not contesting the validity of any of the evidence, only objectifying to it being shown? You're so low IQ, but you are also a woman, so not shocking I have to explain things to you like you're 5. She didn't answer, if any of you are wondering. She probably won't watch again, but that's a good thing. You know, stupid bitch, if you're listening to this episode, never watch again. We don't need retarded women watching this show. Sorry, we don't need it. You're not helpful.
James, what the hell just happened in the Conor McGregor v. Max
Dude,
Holloway fight?
we'll
Feels
talk about
like I
that.
need to go burn down a Target and riot like George Floyd times.
Dude, I'm going to have my own BLM riots over Conor. Dude, he blew out his ACL on that kick. For all the people who are saying he was injured going into the fight, I'm not buying it. Like maybe, but I'm not buying it. I was watching the videos of him in the green room where he's literally practicing that exact. Conor has a tendency to practice the move he's going to open with or practice his knockout move, and he was practicing that exact move multiple times. During the weigh-ins, he was running, coming to a full stop fast. You know, I don't think his ACL and knee was messed up before. I think he blew his ACL out on that first kick. That's sad. Here's my prediction now. That's Conor's last UFC fight. He'll retire, give him a year or two. He'll fight Jake Paul for like $100 million, and he'll fuck off for life, go live on his yacht again. That's probably the prediction. But the real headline from that night was Paddy Pimblett is a fucking dog. He has that dog in him. I said this from the start. Paddy Pimblett's the man. People who weren't listening, Paddy is the man. He's got that dog in him. People who were like, oh, but he lost his last fight. Dude, he went toe-to-toe with Gaethje, who just beat the fuck out of Ilya, and he went toe-to-toe with him and refused to get knocked unconscious. He's a beast. He's an absolute animal. And if you don't give Paddy the rematch versus Gaethje, fuck you, UFC. Give Paddy his rematch and send Gaethje packing. Gaethje will lose that fight. It'll be Gaethje's last fight. Paddy wins. Paddy's champion. That's what needs to happen.
Favorite gym exercise? Bench press and squat barbell are supreme.
Bench press. I like heavy bags and bench press. You know, that's kind of it. Heavy bags and bench press are my go-tos.
Too many holes in it. Do I believe Candace? No, however, the bullet science bugs me. I'd be more inclined to believe that narrative with an FMJ. I've seen .3006 go through and out the other shoulder of elk, deer, and even bison. Soft lead points are meant to do that.
Yes, but also if you have any experience with firearms, you know bullets do weird things. And if you shoot 10,000 rounds, they're not all going to do the same thing. And there's going to be some weird things that happen that you're just like, how the fuck did that happen? And it's 9 out of 10 times just chalked up to, oh, it's a shitty bullet. There are shitty bullets. There are less effective bullets, and it happens. And when you, especially when you're inscribing things, you're fucking with velocity. You're fucking with a lot of different things at that point too. And I'm not saying the inscription's the reason, you know, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of different factors that play into this, and you have no fucking clue. You don't know how long these bullets have been sitting. You don't know anything about these bullets. Again, this is why I say to everybody, it's like you're just getting so ahead of yourself. It's like wait till the trial. Like there could be some. There probably is a lot more overwhelming evidence that we haven't seen yet that will make Candace look like a complete and utter fucking retard past what she's already looked like.
What do you think of Erling Haaland?
Erling Haaland? Who the fuck is that? The soccer player? He's white. He's an Aryan. I don't know anything about him. Someone goes, if immigrants were like him, nobody would have a problem with immigration. Based off how he looks, probably.
Easiest money I've made on Max Bra.
Yeah, if you bet on Max, that was some quick money. I bet on, you want to hear something crazy? I picked, and people were shitting on me in the live chat. Go back and watch. I picked every single fight right besides Conor, and Conor ended in an injury. So it's like, you know, I feel like I get a pass on that. But I predicted every other fight correctly. Every single fight I predicted correctly. If you placed that parlay or placed individual bets, you won money with my, I expect my pay cut. Anyone who took those bets, where's my 10%, bitch?
Pushing 80, by the way.
Okay, fuck you. Pushing 80? That's crazy.
Conor needs to give it up. Damn.
Yeah, he's going to retire. He's old. He's 38. He blew out his ACL at 38. You're done. You got to admit it.
I'm watching Obsession RN Beck. You recommended it, but I'm at the first 30 minutes and the movie is fucked up.
It's a weird movie, right? It's just such a weird, you watch and you're like, oh, fuck, but you can't get your eyes off the screen. It's so good. It's so good. And it's literally, that's every bipolar bitch in the world right there. Someone goes, Patty looked excellent. That was one of the deepest chokes of it. Yeah, that was crazy. What was crazy to me, because I remember I was watching with somebody and I looked at them and I said, dude, he's unconscious already. They don't even realize it. I'm like, he's 100%. I've been choked. That he's 100% unconscious right now. And then the ref, like, his arm's tucked, the ref takes his arm out, drops it, and he drops, and then he's like, oh shit, he's unconscious, he stops the fight. I'm like, dude, he's been unconscious for like 12 seconds. That was, it was a really good performance by Patty, but so bad by the ref on that, dude. He's like, he didn't have Herb Dean. He probably would have choked him for another 30 minutes. Patty actually outstruck Gaethje. Gaethje just said, yeah, that, again, Patty versus Gaethje looked incredible. One of Patty's best fights ever, and he lost. Incredible match. But that was all the comments from Friday and from today, or over the weekend. God bless you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for being fans of the show. Long show, 2 hours today. What a treat for you guys, right? What a treat for you guys. But we debunked Candace Owens. We went over the news. We talked about Lindsey Graham, talked about the ICE shooting, talked about all different things that have happened. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, normal time, 7 p.m. Thursday, we'll do a late show. We're going to do it 9 p.m. We're just going to do a live reaction to Donald Trump addressing the nation. Donald Trump is addressing the nation 9 p.m. Thursday Eastern time, and I will just be, the live will be pushed from 7 to 9, and I'll be going live same time he does, or 5 minutes before he does, and then we will just do a live reaction to that. But God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, read all the comments at the end of each show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Join our Telegram. Join us on Instagram, Twitter, all socials. Follow on Kick, YouTube, all our platforms. And check out our website, autv.shop. autv.shop for all your America Unfiltered goods. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow on Tuesday. God bless you, and have a great rest of your evening. Thank you. The America you once knew is dead. Forget everything you thought you knew. You have been lied to. Used. Turned into a machine whose only use is repeating political talking points that do not serve you. Voting for politicians that don't care about